Hey, hey, and happy Thursday. What's going on, Dr. Will Dodson?
Oh my gosh. Still trying to find a replacement setup for my old office. Um, I'm sitting on a couch, which is nice because the chair that I was in the last few months was rickety and uncomfortable. So I don't know. I'm okay. It's been real busy. A lot of stuff we can't talk about,
Yeah.
but we'll allude to tonight. How you been doing?
Same. Very busy, lots of stuff going on. I started a vacation today. I'm super
Whoop, whoop.
eager, like a staycation. I'm taking the most time that I've taken off literally ever from the government in one fell swoop. I've got 12 days off in a row and eager to have a little bit of more sleep in time probably, but also probably working harder than I do while at the government. So it'll be a fun couple weeks. I'm
Yeah.
eager to get on it.
I want to do that thing that those fancy corporate people do, the quiet quitting.
Yeah.
Well, I think like the rich fancy corporate people can do it, and then like baristas can do it. But if you're in the middle, it's harder to do it. I
I don't
think.
know how you would quiet quit as a barista. You kind of have to serve people.
Well, you just show up. You don't show up, and you don't say anything.
Well, I don't think that's quite what quiet quitting is.
Oh, what's
But
quiet quitting?
like you show up to your job, you just don't do a lot of it. Like when
Oh,
when they're not watching you, you just mess around.
well, then I've been quiet quitting for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just rich people that can do it. Um, we didn't prepare for this part. Do you have I don't do you have any pickups you want to talk about?
I do have some pickups. In
Amazing.
fact,
You haven't the last couple months.
well, I mean, I had them. I just couldn't. I couldn't. So this came in today. My Mondo Macabro package.
Ooh, nice.
Um, the Inferno and Curse of the Dog God in red case. So pretty excited about those. Um, I don't know why I did this because I know it's going to be on 4K like tomorrow, but I picked up the olive edition of Hair, Milos Forman, Treat Williams, rest in peace. Um, it's a film that I've actually never seen by Foreman, and of course the great Broadway rock musical. So this was kind of a gap
Right.
for me. Another one that I'm pretty stupid forgetting, but as you know, I'm still in the midst of that series of watching all movies directed by Francis Ford Coppola. So here's one that I've never seen before,
Oh,
The Rainmaker, which I don't think has an in-print U.S. release. This is, I think, a Japanese region 2.
interesting.
Just a couple more. Worth it. Okay. Getting into the great auteurs of our time, a Fred Olen Ray double feature,
Nice.
Teeny Frankenstein and Twilight Vamps, and a meeting of the masters, Olen Ray and Wynorski together. Scream Queen Hot Tub Party, which I want to watch as a double feature with Linnea Quigley's Killer Workout, but my TerraVision um, order hasn't shipped yet. In the meantime, the Wynorski verse is being restored properly with his first 4K release, Return of the Swamp Thing. And finally, my last pickup, which I've been holding out for quite a long time, and now I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to dive into it, but
Oh, nice.
Volume 2 of Arrow's Shaw Scope. So now I'm ready to start saving up for the 3 Shout Factory Shaw Brothers, 4 if you count Brave Archer.
Well, maybe even then it's 5. I think this week we're going to be talking about.
Well, that's right. They just announced Volume 4, didn't they?
Well, yes, and technically the Brave Archer, and then they did the David Lung set, which I think that's also Shaw Brothers.
Shit,
So technically, and that one's a site exclusive. So technically, I think they've done 6 Shaw releases in the last like 7 months.
man, it's like I said last month. We need to get back to those Biden bucks that were coming in during the pandemic. Hey, listen, Well, I've got something I want to laugh with you about. But first, it's your turn. What kind of pickups did you get?
I got some interesting things to talk about tonight. First is Dude McMahon, who is frequently in the chat. I've not seen his face tonight, so I will bring this up again if he shows up. But a few months ago, he reached out and he says, "Hey, you like Christmas movies?" And yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Christmas movies? And he's like, "I know you make fun of Bronson sometimes. Would you watch a Bronson Christmas movie if I sent it to you?" And he sent me Yes, Virginia, There Is a Santa Claus.
That movie's delightful.
I've never seen it. And yeah, he sent me the shout release. I believe it's out of print.
TV movie that's got John Boy, right, from the Waltons.
I think so. Yeah, Richard Thomas. Yeah. So yeah, Bronson.
Well, good old Dickie T. That's what me and the boys call him.
Let me reach down here. The Deaf Crocodile Kickstarter release of Visitors from the Arcana Galaxy came in.
Still waiting on
cover on this. Great. And then it also came with, I did not take it out of the bag yet, I probably should have, little Deaf Crocodile enamel pin.
Oh.
And then I ordered from Brother Belial for the first time. This is a retailer that I brought up 2 weeks ago, I think, maybe even last week, that they were opening, and they're going to be focusing primarily on German physical media coming to the US, but also they're going to carry stuff like Mondo Macabro and Second Sight and TerraVision and a handful of others. And they got in a gorgeous hardbox art edition of the 2003 version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love this remake. I know that Will's going to scoff right now. It's not as good as the first one, but I really love this movie, and I didn't have a Blu-ray release of it, so it was the perfect way to get it and support a good company. But
I tell you what, I bet Stan just unsubscribed.
That's fine by me. We also got a couple stickers with it of their logo and a T-shirt.
Oh, that's cool.
So I will say for everybody, check out brotherbelial.com. They are an incredible place to buy all kinds of stuff. I love the guy that runs it. He's been a friend for a long time. I really think that there's some very interesting pieces there that you can find right now. And he gets new stuff like literally almost every day. So keep checking it out. Primarily lots of media books, lots of German media, and yeah, good stuff.
That's cool.
Look at that. Stan says, I think that isn't bad, in fact. Thank you, Will.
We're talking about
trying to cause problems. Jessica Biel. Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is I don't know how her little T-shirt stayed tied together the whole time.
It's
talk about suspension of disbelief.
Great acting. Also, got in the newest Fangoria.
Oh yeah, I got that too. Pretty exciting looking volume.
Very classic, classically styled Fangoria.
Yeah. They should, Fangoria, if you're listening, you should compensate us for endorsing you.
Yeah, that's all I got this week. As far as recent watches, I know Will is been going to the theater a lot more than normal and is about to go to the theater a lot more than normal. I am, as usual, for this month, I am participating in the Unsung Horrors charity Horror Gives Back and going through their themed watches. And so far this month, it's been delightful. Watched The Old Dark House for the first time. Watched an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark with my wife. Yeah, good stuff all around. Can't wait to see how much we are able to raise for charity at the end of this month. And please check out Horror Gives Back if you are into it. Will, what have you been watching?
What is today, the 5th?
Today's the 5th.
Okay, so I'm going to have to skip tonight. But I'm doing Hooptober, of course. So I've watched Eggshells, Peter, Paul, and Mary, The Song is Love, and the 2 recent 4K releases of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Second Sight, and who did the other one? Who did the domestic one?
I never remember. Dark Sky, is that the name of it? I think.
Yeah, the second site does look a little bit better, but they're both incredible presentations. So it was cool to watch it back to back. Yeah, and I'm going to continue the rest of the month with Hooper movies. Most of the other movies I've watched recently, I'm not allowed to say, which is very exciting. I look forward to saying what they are soon. Yeah, I'm going to see Dario Argento's opera at the Alamo Drafthouse on Saturday night. Pretty excited about that.
That is very exciting.
Pretty excited about that.
Stan is asking me what I thought of the old Dark House, and Will and I were talking about it right before we went live. I will say, very surprisingly gay movie. Really well done.
Wasn't surprising.
Well, at the beginning of the film, it's not what I expected. I laughed because all I had heard before was that Karloff was looking at this as, I'm going to do something so different after Frankenstein, and he's just this same lunking person that doesn't speak, and it's not this huge turn that he was hoping for. Great movie though, super fun, very interesting storyline, went by very quickly, filmed really well, nice setting.
Yeah, that's beautiful. One of my writing and editing partner and good friend Chris Woofter, that's one of his favorite movies, and he can discourse about it for hours. I love listening to his insights on
it. Yeah, that's great. I can't wait. And now
some interesting comments. Some interesting comments and questions in the chat.
All kinds of them already. One thing that it is sort of bringing up is the last time you were on, we didn't get to talk about the fact that you were here the weekend before, and now that you're back, we get to talk about your plane exploding and your car could have potentially exploded and how your life has exploded. And yeah, so let's get into that. What happened on the plane trip to Kansas City?
So I knew this was a bad idea. Yeah, so I get on the plane there, and we're flying. We're about halfway to Kansas City, and I'm beginning to nod off a little bit. What I was doing, I was reading Klaus Kinski's autobiography, which is a litany of obscenities. Just the most. I felt dirty. I felt like a bad person as I was reading it. Quite evocative and beautifully written procession of perversions. So anyway, I'm starting to nod off with my Klaus Kinski book in my hand, and I wake up. I hear this noise of metal grating on metal. It's really loud. And I was like, oh gosh, that doesn't sound good. And then that was followed by a really strong burning smell in the cabin. Also not a good sign. Then there was this orange flash out the window, and it was one of the engines exploded. And I was like, these three things together are not good. So all the flight attendants power walked really fast up the aisle. And that was the point where I was like, okay, this is really not good. So we're all sitting in silence for a good minute or so. I've been in bad turbulence before and stuff like that where people get scared and kind of panicky. In this moment, though, the entire plane was just quiet. And everybody was like looking around, like scared, kind of just real tensely holding on to stuff. I'm starting to do, I don't know why, but I'm like starting to just like rub my hands together. And I started to think about my children, but then I just replayed erotic memories in my head. I figure you're going down, might as well get the happiest moments. So obviously I'm talking about it now, so I'll shut up. But they turned the plane around and kind of limped back, and then we had to wait for hours and hours for another plane. So then while I'm waiting for the other plane, I get a text, and it's just a picture of the parking garage at my school where I parked my car, and it was on fire. A couple of cars had exploded in the parking garage. So it was kind of damned if I do, damned if I don't that weekend. Yeah, wherever I went, I was engulfed in flames.
So basically, somebody has it out for you, is what you're trying to say.
I think the devil's come collecting is what's happening.
Yeah, so basically, if you had not been traveling to Kansas City, your car could have exploded.
Right.
And because you were coming to Kansas City, you almost died in an
plane.
engine
I
explosion.
mean, I don't know if I almost died, but I mean, the fact is, you're 30,000 feet in the air sitting in a chair. So, like, if something happens to the plane, you can't do anything about it. You're just going down. Whereas if you're in a parking garage, you can't do anything about it either. It's not like you can, swerve.
Ragnar commented, "Shit pants."
Yeah. Thankfully, that didn't happen. That was a different flight. That was a whole different thing.
Dallas says that's what happens when you read a Kinski autobiography.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's the truth. And then I was like, oh no, what if they find this book on my body? They're going to think I'm some kind of comb this one's hard drives.
So Will was flying to Kansas City. We worked on a whole bunch of stuff together while we were here. We got a little joke video from you about Kansas City that I put out last week. But what do you think of Kansas City in the meantime?
A lot of concrete. Literally a lot of concrete. Well, it was a quick trip. We spent most of it in Ryan and Miss Connected's lovely home, and I so enjoyed meeting your boys. You had some drifter staying in the house as well, whose body spray was kind of offensive. But outside of that, we were working so much. I guess I can't really say what we're doing, but it involved audio video production. And I think next time, and there will be a next time. It may be by bus, but there will be a next time. We'll have to go see more. But I enjoyed it. We went to a couple. We got some food, some custard. I definitely got a good look at the suburbs.
This is true. The very white suburbs.
Yeah. And that was something very different from what I'm used to. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a nice visit, and it was so great to meet in person. It's so strange, you meet someone via video chat and talk to them over the course of several months, and then meet them in person, and it's just like, oh, I've known you my whole life. It was a wonderful thing.
It's even more surprising when Will gets off the plane and I'm picking him up at the curb, and we're both giant people, and Will is shocked because I hug him and pick him up off the ground, and he's completely shocked that I did that immediately.
Yeah, it really messed with my spine, but otherwise, yeah. No, yeah, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3", but Ryan is what, 6'7"?
It's 6'5".
6'5". Okay, felt like. And it's very nice. I'm used to towering over everyone around me, so it actually feels kind of good to I have to look up at somebody sometimes.
The three of us were probably very imposing together.
I don't think anybody was intimidated, but they would
My
say,
kids probably were.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, there's some big boys. Hey, Hoss. Hey, Hoss, help me with this bale of hay."
It was a wonderful weekend, and we got a lot of stuff done. There's still more videos that we've been able to make that have not come out on the channel yet, and maybe someday those will see the light of day. Unfortunately, they are very far down on the list of priorities at the moment.
I know one you're reluctant to share because you got demolished.
Well, I wouldn't call it demolished.
Yeah, it was so strange not being able to talk about it on the show last month. Um, and like because it was you're excited to share the story
Right.
and everything. But actually, that's something funny. I tend not to listen or watch the episodes that I'm on because I'm not an egomaniac. But I had to take a long car trip last weekend because I was taking my Shakespeare class to the American Shakespeare Center on a field trip to see a production of Hamlet. And so I had about a 5-hour drive, and I was like, "What's about 5 hours long?" Oh, I know. Whenever I'm on disconnected, um, and so I popped it in, and man, last month I was so fascinated with the mail. Just over and over, I kept talking about how amazing it was that Blu-rays could be shipped around the world for just $20. Uh, it was like 5 or 6 times I kept coming back to that.
Yes, I remember that conversation fondly. So when Will was here, we worked on a handful of projects together. We've got a handful more that we're working on at the moment, and eager to be able to share some of this. Unfortunately, the way that everything was planned out, we were supposed to be able to announce our first title the last time Will was on the show. We were going to be able to unveil everything that night and everything, and it got delayed. And so that's why we waited the week and announced with Howard here. And it was a fun night, but I'm glad it went down the way it did. I'm just very eager for some people to get their hands on some of these titles.
Oh yeah, man. I saw someone who asked if we partnered with Melusine. I think that'll be the great white whale. We can get a Melusine title. It's like, hey mom, I made it.
Wow. Dustin says, just got out of The Exorcist Believer. Considering the negativity I've seen, I was blown away by it. Thoughtful, thought-provoking companion piece to the original. And see,
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen mostly positive reviews from the people I respect. So I'm very curious about everybody that is lambasting it in social media. I think people are just anti-David Gordon Green.
I've not read a single review. I've found it's really easy to avoid reviews. I just
It is.
don't really read the internet anymore. Except I check in on basketball trades. That's about it. And whatever's happening with this great nation of ours through news sites. But I stay away from movie reviews. And I used to read them obsessively, like every review of every movie. But now I hardly even see trailers. So when I go to the movies, it's like, whoa, what's this?
It's all the surprise.
Yeah. The trailers I do watch are usually like the release announcements, like the OCN titles and
Right.
things like that. Which, by the way, how many announcements tonight?
We are at like 87, 90, something like that. But technically, it's not that many. There's a couple, like the Shaw Brothers announcement from Scream takes up like 5 pages of the Instagram. So it's actually like 77.
And so the last time we were on, we went 5 hours and it was 72. Of course, we also had the really awesome
That's right, with
multi-part
the
interview with Craig from Deaf Crocodile, which was so
Yeah.
cool. I'll go ahead and say I ordered the cat movie. What's it called?
You're so invested.
I forgot the title. It's a blip. There's a blip in my head. What's the?
Oh my gosh! I kind of want to let you squirm for a minute.
I'm not squirming because I bought it. So like
It's Cat City.
Cat's what?
Cat City.
For a second, it sounded like Cat's Titty. But that's a Melusine title. Cat City. I've already put in.
They
my
wouldn't call it
pre-order.
Cat on that channel.
So I put in my pre-order for Cat City. That was the only like automatic one. But there were several release announcements this month that were pretty incredible. So.
Well, I think that's pretty much the best segue we can get. Why don't we get started so we don't go 17 hours?
Yeah.
And, first thing we're talking about tonight is Pearl.
Okay.
Pearl is coming from Turbine in Germany in a 4K steelbook. This is coming in December, and it looks pretty decent. Everything should be fairly English friendly, it looks like. At least English audio, not necessarily English subs, but this is a good thing. And then next one is Renfield. Same thing, coming in December in a 4K full slip steelbook from Turbine. And again, lots of English friendly features on this, and even has English friendly subs, I believe. So that's a very good thing. Did you watch Renfield?
I did. It wasn't for me. I didn't care for it, but I could see why somebody would care for it. So
I need to finish it. I saw the first 2/3, and maybe that's telling of how I feel about it, because I'm not
yeah.
like, I got to go back and finish it. But from what I saw, it was fun. I certainly wasn't against it. I
Yeah.
wish we spent a little more time with Nicolas Cage in it. That's for sure.
I think that's a key issue. I found this particular characterization of Renfield to be simpy. What does that word mean?
Like you're willing to do everything to get a girl.
Okay, yeah.
It's understandable. And yeah, that's kind of the whole theme of what they were going for there. I get it. I don't know. Something about it just didn't quite click for me.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And I have to admit, I haven't seen Pearl or X yet. So
whoa, I thought you had. That's why I glazed right over it. Very interesting. I feel like both would be right up your alley, actually.
That's Ty West, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of his.
These are not really like the rest of his films, though.
Okay, I mean, yeah, they're on the list to see. Just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, X is probably more going to be the one that you love, but I think you're really going to appreciate the performance in Pearl. They're both genuinely incredible movies for sure, but X is like a Will movie, like just across the board.
Because it's a bunch of old people making pornos?
No, that old people aren't making pornos in it. No.
Oh, that's what I heard.
No, it's some people are traveling. Some people are going and they're renting out like a guest house from an old couple, and they're there to make adult films. But that's like a very small part of it. The old people go fucking nuts. You would love it. Let's go to the next one. Here's one. I've been warning people about this for months just because I heard this was coming. November 27th, Second Sight is releasing High Tension from 2003 on 4K and Blu-ray. You can pre-order the limited edition box set now, and loving this art on this. And we've got a new audio commentary by Dr. Lindsay Hallam. There's an experiment in suspense, new interview with Alexandre Aja, new interview with the writer Gregory Levasseur, interview with the cinematographer Maxime Alexander, interview with the special effects artist Janetto De Rossi, and then Alexandra Heller Nicholas gives a essay on here called Only the Brave, some archival featurettes, and then a new essay booklet that is 70 pages long by Anna Bogodskaya, Prince Jackson, Stacy Ponder, Zoe Ross Smith, and the 6 collector's art cards. Looks like a pretty killer release.
Yeah.
What do you think of this one?
It's okay. I have to admit, like, the first time I saw this, which would be, I actually saw this in a graduate course. So it would have been around 2007 or 2008. Didn't know anything about the filmmaker or anything about the film. Just started watching it, was loving it. But then when the twist happens, I was like, oh, come on. Nicomedes immediately dismisses it. But that's okay. You know, again, it just wasn't for me. I really enjoyed it up to that point, and I've recently gotten a copy of it that I planned on watching again. I don't know that I'm gonna do this upgrade, but I am planning to see it again.
I loved 98% of this movie and thought it was really well made. Not a huge fan of that ending.
Yeah, I like Aja though. He's a good director.
He's great.
Yeah.
Let's get into some Arrow announcements. First one is The Day of the Locust is coming out on December 5th in the US and Canada. This is going to have a new 2K restoration by Arrow themselves, new oral history commentary done by Lee Gambin, who's been on the channel before, and that's going to feature the assistant directors Leslie Asplund and Charles Ziarko, production associate Michael Childers, actors Granger Hines and Pepe Cerna, title designer, all kinds of people, basically. There's a new appreciation of the film by critic Glenn Kenny. There is costume historian and film historian Alyssa Rose discusses the film's costumes in this new visual essay. And then another new visual essay by Lee Gambin himself called Jeepers Creepers, Where'd You Get Those Peepers? And then some behind-the-scenes stuff and illustrated collector's booklet with some new writing by Pamela Hutchinson. I've never seen this movie.
Well, look at that. This post was liked by me and 45 other people. Yeah, I haven't seen this film in 20, 25 years. It's pretty good. So this is probably a must get. Michael Smith says I hate the French. I don't hate French.
I love how you immediately did not dismiss it.
Well, you don't want to dismiss. You don't want to throw away a whole civilization. I mean, I will say they've been on the wrong side of history. Even more times than we have. But
to be fair, they had a head start. They've been around a little longer.
Yeah.
But we're catching up quick.
Yeah.
Next up, a little indie movie called The Warriors from 1979 is getting a 4K and Blu-ray release in the US and Canada. And the big thing, this will have new 4K restorations of both the theatrical cut and I love that they're calling this the alternate version, not the director's cut. He is completely dismissing it now. The alternate version, both sourced from the OCN. This will have both of them on 4K discs. They will have Dolby Vision HDR10, which is great. This will have a 100-page perfect bound book with new writing by Dennis Cosalio plus archival material. We've got some, double-sided fold-out posters, 6 postcard size reproduction art cards, gang logo stickers, and then a new commentary by Walter Cha, who was just name-dropped by Craig in the chat as well. Cool. Author of a Walter Hill Fillmore Stories, new interview with Walter Hill, new roundtable discussion with Josh Olson, Lexi Alexander, and Robert D. Krasowski. Discuss their love of the Warriors and the work of Walter Hill. New interview with Billy Weber, new interview with the costume designer, new look at the iconic locations of the Warriors, some other archival featurettes, and then that second disc will have the other version. The Warriors.
Oh man, I love Lexi Alexander. I want to get it just to hear her talk about the movie. I'm really glad. I heard they were including the Canadian audio dub, which has some significant differences. For example, towards the end, they say, "Warriors come out to play, eh?"
Oh, Will. Oh, Will. Interesting. Sivner says he's 2 blocks from where they shot a scene from the Warriors. Very nice.
I can dig it.
Yeah, the imprint release was the best we'd ever get, says Dude McMahon, and then Arrow has upped it. However, the imprint release has all kinds of special features that were not ported over.
But see, that's what this is the part of obsessive, financially irresponsible collecting that really gets me, is if I have multiple copies of the same movie in gigantic packaging,
right?
Smith is out to get me this month.
By the way, Dude McMahon's here, so I don't think you got to see the shout out. I got in. Yes, Virginia, there's a Santa Claus. And have to share and say thank you again to Dude McMahon publicly. I also love Dude McMahon asked me, he goes, do you sell or send out a lot of physical media to people? Do you want any packing materials? I was like, sure, I'll take a little extra. I mean, I'm always looking for like bubble mailers or anything to use as packing material. I got this one Blu-ray in a box that was like this big, full of bubble envelopes, and it was the greatest thing ever. I appreciated that so much. The Warriors is also coming in this original art version that you can get from the Arrow site only. So I got to ask, Will, since you are going to break down and buy one of these, which one are you going for?
Well, that one, I don't know.
Because I got to be honest, usually I'm like original art all the way. I got to go for that. But they did a pretty good job with this new art.
Yeah, that looks okay.
Especially because you can have the original wrap on the inside on the 4K case.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
The important thing is that Lexi Alexander's talking about it, and that's a person. She's a great director, and knows her stuff, and she's a great story herself. I really admire her work and her opinions. So I'm not saying that Green Street Hooligans is a great movie or anything. It's not, but Lexi Alexander is really good.
What's going on, Dale? All right, moving on from there is this thing. The Child's Play collection is coming on 4K and Blu-ray in the UK only on December 11th from Arrow. And oh my gosh, does this get weird? So let's dive into some of the details here. Child's Play 1 on Blu-ray. Okay, sorry. There's a little bit first. We got 4K UHD discs. Those are region free. Blu-ray discs are region B. You're going to have deluxe packaging with new artwork by Mark Bell, booklet with new writing on the film by John Paul Checkett, Kat Ellinger, Barry Forshaw, Alexandra Heller Nicholas, and Cerise Howard. Select archival material. 3 double-sided fold-out posters with new and original artwork. Okay. Disc 1, Blu-ray. And it's the 2012 MGM Blu-ray. I got to be honest, that kind of tanks the set immediately for me right there. It is not real great to have an 11-year-old Blu-ray disc in a 4K set. That surprised me. Obviously, MGM's not giving up the rights in the UK. That's not Arrow's choice. Obviously, they never would have chose that. How do you feel about that, Will?
I've got that one Blu-ray box set that came out a long time ago, and I think I'm just going to stick with that.
I understand that. I will say I watched Bride of Chucky for one of my unsung horrors pick this week. The 4Ks from Scream Factory look fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, hey, listen, since it's clear I don't have a major opinion about these, speaking of Seed of Chucky, my daughter has
to put your kid to bed.
She has to go to bed right now, and she should have been in bed 38 minutes ago. So I'm going to briefly step away. I'll be right back.
Please do. So Child's Play. First of all, this art. Let's go into this a little bit because at first when I saw this, I didn't think it was awful. But then some things really started to stick out to me. I'm shocked that Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky is the exact same art. They just added the new character on the second one. I don't understand why they would do that. Curse of Chucky doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Some of these others, you could have done so much more with the art. Don't love the art on this at all. Not one to criticize too much, but it's not great. Then you got the rest of them in 4K after we talked about the first one. And that's got all kinds of archival featurettes and stuff. Not a whole lot of new featurettes or interviews or anything on these because they're all on the Scream Factory releases. There is really nothing new here. The only thing that is truly new on this entire set, which I don't know if you... First off, if you already have the Scream Factory releases, you definitely don't need to run out and get these. But if you had to have everything, the only things that you were missing on these is shocking that this is all that they could get. But basically, they added promotional featurettes, image galleries, archival introductions. The Seed of Chucky is unrated in 4K when the Scream Factory one was not the unrated cut in 4K. There's some DVD Easter eggs from Seed of Chucky that is on here that's not on the Scream disc. And that's kind of it. Not really enough, in my opinion, obviously, to upgrade if you already have the other 4K, because it's not really an upgrade.
Yeah.
It also just doesn't look great. One big thing to me that I'm kind of shocked by, I don't know, I don't think this is a placeholder because Arrow doesn't usually do this. Look at the spine on that box. There's nothing there even indicating what is in the box set. It's just a blank yellow side. That's, I mean, it just feels so lazy.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the art throughout those. Well, you know.
The other thing that's in this set that is not on any of the Scream Factory discs is you do get the documentary that just came out fairly recently, which is Living with Chucky. You can get that on that exact disc, basically, that's going to be on here just by itself. So, yeah, you can essentially build this whole set. It's a little more expensive to get the Scream Factory ones, but at least you get all of them in 4K. So, I don't know. This one is interesting. I will say, go ahead.
The choice is stark.
It is cheaper, yes, but I will say Arrow has had an incredible year, so not really something that's going to bother many people. I do kind of feel bad for those in the UK that are seeing this announced and go, "Yay!" Oh wait, the first one is an 11-year-old disc. Then, in other weird choices, you can get the side exclusive blue box because the color blue is so associated with the Child's Play series. Why is this the site exclusive? Hey, let's make everybody pre-order this.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm so confused by this.
If I was gonna get it, I'd get the yellow box.
Right. It actually makes sense.
Maybe is it because one of the things about the later Chuckies is that they're gender fluid, so it can't be blue for boy. Is it blue for the overalls? I don't know.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So let's carry on so we can get a little more positive. This is very positive. December 11th on Blu-ray in the UK, December 12th in the US and Canada. Arrow is releasing Savage Guns 4 Classic Westerns, Volume 3 already. I don't even have Volume 2 yet, and they're up to Volume 3.
I got it.
And this thing is coming with I Want Him Dead from 1968, El Puro from 1969, a.k.a. The Reward's Yours, The Man's Mine. And then, that's a great title. And then there are two others. Why am I not seeing the titles jump out? I know what one of them is, but
only one matters.
Yeah. So I'll just go through disc by disc first. Disc 1, I Want Him Dead, has a new audio commentary by Adrian J. Smith and David Flint. New interview with the director, Paolo Blanchini. New interview with editor, Eugenio Alabiso. Some archival interviews. And then disc 2 is El Puro, 2 versions of the film, 98-minute cut presented in Italian and English, and then the 108-minute version assembled from the OCN and an archival print and presented in Italian and a newly created hybrid English-Italian mix, which is interesting. New commentary on this one by Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson. New interview with the actor Robert Woods. A new in-depth appreciation of the soundtrack and its composer by musician and disc collector Lovely John. He's worked with Severn many times. Disc 3 is Wrath of the Wind. We got an alternate 106-minute Spanish language version of the film featuring additional and extended scenes not found in the Italian or English versions. New audio commentary by Howard Hughes. New interview with camera operator Robert Dottore Piazzolo. And then a short film from 2022 by Francisco Lacerda serving as a love letter to the spaghetti western genre, which is interesting. And then disc 4, Horror of the Apocalypse. Kind of wild that this is stuck in a western box set instead of a big, lavish, limited release by itself.
Makes the entire box worth the purchase.
Exactly. So this one has a new audio commentary by Kat Ellinger. Previously unreleased interview with the production manager Roberto Spiriga. New in-depth appreciation of the film by Lucio Fulci scholar Stephen Thrower. New in-depth appreciation of the soundtrack and its composers by Lovely John again. And then it says, for some scenes and dialogue lines in the long version, the Italian audio is either lost or was never produced. And I think that was for Wrath of the Wind, not for, El Puro, not for the Apocalypse. So we got the Fulci Western that people have been wanting for a long, long time.
Oh, count me among that number. Very excited about it. Michael J. Pollard is great in the film. I really, really like For the Apocalypse, and I've been waiting for a high definition release for years and years and years. So this is cool.
I agree. This is a good comment. Dallas is talking about the Chucky set. It says, hard to believe this is the same company that put 110% into rescuing the Coffin Joe movies.
Yeah. Wait, aren't the Coffin Joes getting like 4K?
No, they're only
right?
Blu-rays.
No, okay. I was surprised that they could even do Blu-ray.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Yeah, very, very, very neat.
So that was Arrow. Kino announced Odds Against Tomorrow from 1959 is coming on December 5th. This has a new audio commentary by Alan K. Rode, and that is it on this one.
Robert Wise, one of the all-time greats.
He's all right. I'm kidding. Jeez. I've not seen this, but all I've heard is that this is an incredible, incredible movie.
Yeah.
Eager to see this one. And by the way, this is probably a good time to shout out because I wanted to bring up a retailer that people are not paying enough attention to. Obviously, pre-ordering is getting expensive everywhere, but some of these things sell out before street date, and you may still want to do it. So if you want Kinos at what appears to be the best price right now, atomicmoviestore.com. They are based out of Lawrence, Kansas, and they have most of their Kinos up for day one. Most of their Kino Blu-rays, not 4K, obviously. You can get them for like $16 or $17, and they have a $50 free shipping threshold. And now that I've said this, they're probably going to be overwhelmed, and I'm probably not going to get some of my stuff in. However, I'm not one to gatekeep, so please check out and support Atomic Movie Store, but also continue to support Grindhouse Video and Diabolic DVD and Orbit DVD and Cinema Classics and everywhere else that you're getting stuff here in the U.S. There's all kinds of places when you're overseas. However, obviously getting some of these like the Kino titles in makes them very expensive, and you wait for sales for the most part. It's tough. I just want to make sure that people have the best chance at everything that they're trying to get. Dylan says Atomic ships well and fast, and they have import releases too. Absolutely. Joel says, that's Joel from Scarecrow Video. Atomic Movie Store is legit great service. What's going on, Ken? Terry just got my first order from Atomic Movie Store earlier this week. Very well packed. Nice. Smith says, Orbit has filed a restraining order against me. Next one, December 5th is another announcement from Kino. They're putting out the Quester Tapes 1974 TV movie. This one's going to have a new audio commentary by Gary Garani, a textless trailer and a textless promo. Very interesting, unique way to describe that. It's got the slip and then nothing else on here.
It's atextual. It's all the rage these days.
Wow. This is done by Gene Roddenberry, and I've heard good things about this. I have never seen this one. Have you?
No, read about it in like Gene Roddenberry, bios and appreciation. So this is definitely something I'd like to see. This is the kind of thing that I hope is streaming, but it's things like this that I used to get on Netflix disc all the time, and pouring one out. I got my final Netflix discs. I got 3. I got to keep 3.
Well, as I brought up a moment ago, as we move away from Netflix disc, check out Joel Fisher and go check out Scarecrow Video. Like I brought up last week, they are doing that. You can rent anywhere in the U.S. They have tons of titles you can get. It's fairly cheap. Shipping covers both directions, and they have an incredible catalog.
I am definitely going to be looking at Scarecrow. That's for sure.
And it's Gary Garani's birthday. Happy birthday, Gary Garani. And go to the next one. The brand new movie Strays is coming out on Halloween, and this is going to have a couple featurettes and feature commentary with the director and producer and screenwriter. And I imagine you saw this on day one, right, Will?
No, not for me. I do, I like all those actors, all those comedians, but sometimes they'll make stuff and the only joke is that they're shouting curse words,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's if maybe I'll see it when it streams or something that I could fall asleep to it or something, but it just doesn't appeal to me.
I saw it, and that's exactly what I felt about it.
Okay.
It was funnier than expected, but it's not even really worth a watch.
Yeah.
This one just kind of appeared out of nowhere. This wasn't really announced by Shout, and it's coming on November 14th, which is much quicker than the other Shout titles we're going to be talking about. They are putting out, in conjunction with Studio Ghibli and presented by Toho, Spirited Away on stage. And everything I've heard is that this is freaking incredible and that everybody needs to see this. This is supposedly, there was another release that was hard to get in the UK or something, and it was not one that I had even on my radar. So I'm eager to check this out.
Yeah. I didn't know they were doing Studio Ghibli stage adaptations. So
it's pretty damn cool, especially for a big title like that.
Yeah.
Next up, December 5th, Kino is releasing Eye for Icarus. We had talked about this one previously, but now we know this gets a new commentary by Sam Deegan.
Yeah.
And coming on December 5th. So that's exciting. And then same day, they're also releasing Milliards de Dollars. This is also coming on December 5th and also with a commentary by Sam Deegan.
Man.
Pretty
She's
dang
keeping
exciting.
busy, huh? Yeah, I mean, she's one of the ones where I see her name on a disc, I'm a lot more interested in getting the disc.
Oh wow, Sibner says that Spirit Away live on stage AMC had as a special event screening. Interesting.
Did you see Sam Deegan posted today that she got to do a trip to the Criterion Closet?
Yes, I think that was yesterday, but yes, it's on top of that, she's teasing some sort of upcoming project, and it's supposed to do with something from Asia.
Isn't that amazing?
I'm very curious what's happening.
Yeah, so happy for her because I mean she's done so much for, as a spokesperson for collectors and film preservationists, and also for breaking down the kind of cultural divide between art house and sort of mainstream acceptance for certain kinds of films versus genre and exploitation films. She treats them all with the same amount of gravitas, and I think that's a quality well worth emulating.
I agree. Next up, we got some Vinegar Syndrome and OCN announcements. Are you ready, sir?
Here we go. So I actually quoted Mother's Day, which may be my second favorite now, Trauma License movie, directed by the real Charles Kaufman, Lloyd's brother, who's now a baker, like a high-end baker in California. But I quoted Mother's Day in a college commencement address once. There's at the beginning, there's the self-help guru who says, now when you get out of here, don't stop to think about how you feel, because then you doubt what wait, hold on, let me start over. I'm quoting something from memory from like 20 years ago. When you get out of here, don't stop to think about what you know. Wait, no. Fuck. One more time, and then I'm going to let it go.
This is exactly how you sounded at the podium, I bet.
Yeah. No, I had it written down then. When you get out of here, don't stop to think about how you feel, because then you can Because then you doubt what you know. Shit, I lost it. And so,
Okay.
no, because then you doubt what you know, and then you can assume you don't know it. Why? Because you don't act on it. When you know what you know, you act on it. It was one of the I fucked it up, but it was one of the funniest.
Like 6 times, yes.
Yeah, it's the funniest scene. This movie has so many great lines. Punk sucks, disco stupid. And the storyline is so it's so much more complex than you would think. The characterizations. I just love Mother's Day. I'm so excited to see that they've got cast interviews in this. That's what I'm most excited about.
I love everybody responding to this right now.
Yeah, you know what? This is what happens when I finally try to face my problems, and I come to the show with a glass of water. Sibner gets it. I should have come in hot.
So let's get into this. Vinegar Syndrome is releasing Mother's Day on 4K.
Is that what it is?
Mother's Day, 4K. And if you've never seen this, this is genuinely a classic, and everybody should see this at least once. On this, we've got a commentary track with Charles Kaufman and Rex A. Piano, interview with Nancy Hendrickson, interview with Michael McCleary, interview with the co-writer Warren Light, interview with the producer Michael Kravitz, interview with the production designer Susan Kaufman and the costume designer Ellen Lutter, interview with Rex A. Piano, Charles Kaufman interviewed by Lloyd Kaufman, interview with Gianna Pierce, a brand new location shooting video that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, but an interview that I put out this week was this location video was produced by Ewan Cant, who's on the other side of the pond. He's from the UK, and he directed this whole thing from over there. And this is a pretty incredible release. I'm really stoked that they're putting this out.
Yeah.
They even got some of the archival stuff on here, like the Eli Roth on Mother's Day featurette is on here.
Yeah. So cool.
Great release. And this was not everything Trauma related because, not this one, but we're going to get to more Trauma. They're also putting out Mark of the Devil on 4K.
Guess I'm not the only one messing up.
I'm so sorry. I can't see the future. Yours was the past, William.
Okay, this will be my 8th edition of Mark of the Devil.
Yes, this was previously released by Arrow on Blu-ray, and it's been out of print for a long time. This is now coming.
Also, Blue Underground. Blue Underground had a good release of it too.
DVD, right? Long time ago.
Yeah.
So this one is coming in HDR, of course. We've got a commentary track with the director Michael Armstrong, moderated by Caleb Waddell. New interview with the director Michael Armstrong. New interview with the actor Udo Kier. And I'm glad they got a new interview with Udo because the last one was sort of awkward. Did you ever watch that last interview on the Arrow disc?
No. Now I'm going to have to.
You should. Like somebody said, hey, did they carry over all the Arrow featurettes? They conveniently left that one off because it's not a good interview.
Well, that's fine.
So this one, we got a location shoot. We got a documentary from 2014 on the new wave of British horror filmmakers, which emerged in the 60s and 70s. We got all kinds of archival interviews and then alternate German language title sequence. And it looks like a solid dang release. This is one of those titles that if you've never seen it, it's bloodier than you expect it to be for 1970. And a really damn good movie.
It is a good movie. And going back to the extras, I love Colin Waddell. His work is fantastic. I'm quite honored to share that I have an essay in his collection, Refocus, the films of Wes Craven, on Hills Have Eyes Part 2. And he just announced another book project that will be coming out next year that I'm going to have an essay in. So that's not the only reason I like Waddell's work, but but it is cool to have a connection with him, and he knows everything about everything. So that commentary is going to be quite well moderated, let me tell you.
All right. Next from Vinegar Syndrome is a big one, another Trauma distributed title, Blood Sucking Freaks. is coming on 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, and this is coming in a wild set. It looks like. I think I included it in here. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna have to go read the website for this because it's too good to not read this as part of this. So it says this special limited edition double-sided magnetically reversible embossed slipcover is limited to 7,000 units. What?
That's a hell of a
reversible slipcover that is held together by magnets. That's very odd and interesting, and I can't wait to see it.
Well, and if anybody is unaware, so it's got this commentary from Eli Roth that was recorded, around the time that Cabin Fever came out. It was very early in his career, and it's no coincidence because Hostel is pretty much a loose remake of Bloodsucking Freaks.
Very loose.
Like not so loose that he shouldn't give credit to it. There's quite a bit of Hostel, quite a bit of Bloodsucking Freaks in Hostel, which is cool. That's not a criticism. That's another reason to watch.
Bloodsucking Freaks is going to have a 4K disc that is newly scanned and restored from the internegative, which I don't know that Vinegar Syndrome has ever done that, actually. Kind of surprising. We got a new commentary track with John Spunner, the author of Bloodsucking Freak, The Life and Films of the incredible Joel M. Reed. That archival commentary from Eli Roth that Will was just talking about. A featurette about the Tromathon 2023 screening of Bloodsucking Freaks at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater in Pennsylvania, including an interview with Lloyd Kaufman. Live commentary from 2009, a Q&A with Joel M. Reed, and then a whole bunch of archival pieces. This is a wild title for Vinegar Syndrome to get and put out, and one that I'm kind of surprised that they're doing it.
Well, I really am loving all of the work that they're doing with these Troma license titles. At this point, I only have one more on my wish list, which is Merchants of Death with PJ Souls and William Smith. I'm hoping to will that into existence. Craig with dropping a bit of knowledge there.
That's taking the swipe.
Good. This is a film that probably does not need to be in 4K.
Well, I'll argue that part. I'd argue every film should be on the highest possible quality that it can be. And if the only thing that exists for this is an internegative, it probably shouldn't be 4K.
Yeah. But this will be the definitive release, and that's nice and all. But yeah.
Well, let's look at two more Vinegar Syndrome titles, and then we'll talk about the month altogether. This one is tough to get like an actual picture of because it's a lenticular slipcover, and this is I think the first time they've done a lenticular since like Rad.
Wow.
It's been a long time for a lenticular slipcover. They're putting out Rabid Grannies, another Troma distributed title. This is from 1988, and this is a region-free Blu-ray, newly scanned, restored in 4K from the Interpositive. Commentary track with The Hysteria Continues. New interview with the producer, Johan, I'm not reading these last names. New interview with Lloyd Kaufman about this. In-depth look at the Flemish horror cinema, a feature-length 2016 documentary on the history of Flemish horror, archival making of documentary, the 88-minute cut version that is sourced from tape with an optional commentary by the director, and some archival interviews, outtakes, trailer, all that good fun stuff. This is, I believe, the first time that this is coming uncut on high definition.
And let me tell you, if anybody knows horror, it's the Flems. By coincidence, if you arrange your Vinegar Syndrome films alphabetically, your lenticular slipcovers will be right next to each other.
That's true.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Rabid Grannies?
The only version of it I've seen was the kind of chopped up DVD from 99 or 2000. that Troma put out. So I can't say that I've actually seen the movie yet.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, because it didn't make any sense.
Right.
It was like, yeah, it was like 80 some minutes, and the picture was all kind of compressed together. I couldn't tell what the hell was going on. So this one I'm very curious to enjoy.
Well, let's talk about one more Vinegar Syndrome title, and that is Magic Crystal,
Yeah.
coming as a VSA. This is from 1986, Cynthia Rothrock, and this is going to have newly scanned and restored in 2K from the OCN, presented in Cantonese with newly translated English subs, new and exclusive commentary track with Frank Jang and Rick Myers, new interview with Cynthia Rothrock, new interview with Wen Bin Chao Yu, and then Erica Schultz, who is close friend of the channel, who's from Unsung Horrors, is part of the essay for this booklet. You got a double-sided poster on this and newly translated subs. That's Magic Crystal.
That's so cool. Awesome for Erica. Anytime a Rothrock movie comes out, that's automatic. And Richard Norton's in it, Andy Lau. Oh, yeah, this is going to be fun.
So I'm going to take what Will says of this will be fun, and then I'm going to be the downer for a second. And before I get into it, I'm going to say I'm very high on Vinegar Syndrome this month. I think these 4 titles, or 5 titles, are great. I think that they're solid announcements. Very happy with them. Best looking art in a few months, in my opinion, for Vinegar Syndrome. Solid releases, but also most people have most of these films already. A lot of these, they're re-releases, and it's a high re-release month. Magic Crystal just came out in the UK from 88 Films.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, just came out. So there's a lot that people are complaining about this month, again, because that always happens. But I will say I'm very excited to get Troma titles released without Troma doing their normal traumatization on the discs. These are probably going to look incredible.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry.
No, you're good. Carry on.
I was just murmuring affirmation of what you were saying.
I'm very happy with this month from Vinegar Syndrome, but I do understand some people that are not super happy about discs that they already have.
Well, I look at it this way. We're always talking about how we have to be careful with how we budget our collecting, and we can't get everything. So when you have a month like this where there's some titles that are redundant for maybe you and not redundant for others, then hey, decisions made. You you get to save a little money that month. catch up on some ones you missed from previous months.
I do admit though that it overall this is like a very solid month. This is one of the better months for Vinegar Syndrome in quite some time.
Yeah, and I mean those 3 Troma titles. Whether or not the 4K restoration makes sense or not. Those three are. This is the best they're ever going to look, and I'm sure 88 Films is. Wait, was it 88 that put out Magic Crystal? You said?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a great addition too. But for those who prefer the Vinegar Syndrome stuff, here it is. So it's nice to be able to have the choice. You can take a look at the different features and weigh your options.
And options there are, because as you can see here, if you just wait, a film that is able to be released will probably be released again from another company that you appreciate.
I'll tell you one thing. If I have to choose between 2 editions and one of the editions has an essay by Erica Schultz in it, I know which one I'm getting.
I agree there. Craig says the saved money that you have can go towards that cat movie. Love it. That's a good question, Ash. Ash says, when is the Flesh and Blood show horror films of Pete Walker coming out? It has been delayed like 4 times, so hopefully soon.
Oh.
Let's go to this one, which is part of the Melusine site. You can buy Michael Finley's Fresh trilogy, Flesh trilogy, now, and I will not spend too much time showing those. I'm kind of surprised Instagram has let it stay up as long as it's been here.
Oh, that's
We
weird. I saw it on the regular VS site. That's where I ordered it from.
Yeah, this one for some reason was on the VS site as well.
Yeah.
This one has The Touch of Her Flesh, The Curse of Her Flesh, and The Kiss of Her Flesh. And I really appreciate a lot of Michael Finley stuff, but I've never seen these. Will, I'm sure you've seen them many, many times. Have you?
I wouldn't say many, many times, but many times. Um, no, I mean, these are, yeah, these are primarily of interest because of the Finleys. I believe, am I wrong? I believe Roberta Finley acts in at least one of them.
I believe so.
And, does some performance. Yeah. If you've never heard it before, I highly encourage people to look up the podcast, The Rialto Report, and find the interview that they did with Roberta Finley, which covers her whole life and career. She's really open about it, and the insight that she gives on her relationship with Michael and the way she kind of started out as a training for classical piano, and then kind of falling in with Michael Finley doing soundtracks for silent films, and then transitioning into making Roughies, is a really interesting story. I'm getting questions about how much nudity and stuff is they're Roughies, and so they're kind of gross, but they're also fairly tame. They're not in terms of exposed flesh and whatnot, but they're sordid, and there's some perversion in there, and definitely some sadomasochistic stuff.
And the big thing that I did not say that I want to point out, all three of these films have commentaries by Heather Drain.
Yeah, that's a real benefit.
That's a huge deal for this. Heather is amazing.
Yeah.
I've been on the channel before, and I can't wait to hear those as well.
Yep.
Big one.
I definitely made that order. It was previously released by Something Weird on a triple feature DVD. Did I see a comment about Pokemon?
Yeah, Sivner says Will talks about Roughies the way collectors talk about Pokemon cards. That's really funny.
I'll take that as a compliment. That is funny.
So the other thing is, this also comes with a 40-page booklet with new essays by Lisa Petrucci from Something Weird, Heather Drain, and Elizabeth Purcell. So this is just a very strong release.
Yeah.
Next up, which is going to be a lot more of a questionable Melusine release for some people, Michael Finley's Joy, with the title on the slipcovers looking like Meet the Rapists. Lots of pictures that I probably should not show. So I'm going to pull that down and read from the other site, just so this doesn't get pulled real quick.
Well, don't say the title when our faces are up.
Meet the Rapist, Will. So this one, just so you're aware, and the title's Joy. The title isn't Meet the Rapist. They just went with that on the slipcover. This says, after virginal teeny bopper Joy is assaulted by a trio of burglars, she finds herself in an unexpected predicament. She wants more. Unsatisfied by her prudish and inexperienced boyfriend, Joy sets out across Manhattan to seduce any and every man she can find, while unwittingly settling into motion a wave of female sexual liberation, I can't read, that sends the entire city of New York into an orgiastic frenzy. With pleasure way up and crime way down, everyone is happy, except, of course, for the NYPD and stuck-up Lieutenant Handcock, who becomes increasingly concerned that all of the carefree sex going on will put him out of a job. So, Will, did you pre-order this?
I didn't see it. I haven't programmed myself to check the Melusine site each month, so I did not realize that this was a thing. Although I got to say, that's a kind of interesting commentary on, police culture and 70s, like Times Square culture. I don't know. Man, I get away with a lot of stuff being on my shelf. I don't know about that one.
Well, let's take it to the next step, because their next little paragraph here, a patently bizarre mix of raucous sex comedy and thoughtful commentary on contemporary mores, with hefty helping of sticking it to the anti-authoritarianism. Joel Bender's debut feature film Joy stars Sharon Mitchell in one of her first starring roles, with Crystal Sink, Richard Bola, Jake Teague, and many others. I don't know. This just feels gross, kind of.
Yeah.
And I know it wasn't up there for too long, but the back of the slipcover, instead of Meet the Rapist like on the front, it says, let's call it Women's Liberation.
Oh, geez.
They went kind of all in on highlighting that R word. This is interesting.
I don't want us to highlight it.
Nope. All right, I'm going to carry on. So we are on to some new merch. Let me bring that up back on the screen.
T-shirt with the slipcover.
T-shirt with a bush on it. We've got Headless Horsewoman shirts, Sintoberfest Headless Horsewoman print, Night Train to Terror shirt, which I gotta admit is pretty rad. Vinegar Syndrome Metal Devil shirt, Mother's Day on VHS, which is probably long sold out. Beyond the Door 3 vinyl soundtrack is available. Not sure why I put this picture instead. There's the book Film Business by Lillian Ross that you can get on the website now. And then there is Decomposing, the music of Carlo Maria Cordio on the site as well. And Will disappeared. All right, good to know. Joe Jack appreciates the pubic hair. Oh, man. All right, let's go to the partner labels. First up, this is from Yellow Veil, and this is Ashgal, the Tunisian investigation from 2022. This says, set amongst derelict, half-finished apartment complexes of a former regime, the discovery of a mysterious burnt body by two police officers reveals a puzzling repetition of events. As the investigation progresses, a network of violence and corruption is uncovered throughout the city. This has an alternate ending, Q&A with Yusuf Chebi at New Director, New Film, featurette Scouting at Jardin, and a slipcover by Brandon Schaefer, and an essay by Tyler Wilson. And that's what we got.
Did you see the trailer for that? It looks really cool.
I did not, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm into this one. I hope it's good. I mean, this is just based on the trailer. The trailer makes it look awesome.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. I know that you say the trailer looks awesome. I say that's hilarious. I'm getting an email right now saying I think my Twitch account just got banned for that title. For the Meet the Rapist discussion.
Well,
yep.
Well, we were on Twitch?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
That's hilarious. Yeah, we're still on YouTube, but not on Twitch.
Well,
going to the next title.
They're cool. They're cool with the movie about people being burned to death.
Yeah, they are. Altered Innocence is doing Astrakhan from 2022. This is an interesting looking movie. I did not get to watch. I don't know if there was a trailer up for this one.
There was,
did you watch?
Yeah.
Did you watch this one?
Yeah, it looked neat. I don't know. One of these coming of age things and kids and I don't know. I was intrigued though.
I'm pretty much always intrigued with them.
Yeah.
Next up, one cat movie.
I've ordered this. This has been ordered. This has been paid for.
Lovely looking slipcover on this. Love the art. Deaf Crocodile. They're putting out Cat City, like we talked about just a month ago, from 1986. This is going to have a new video interview with the director, or it's the director of the National Film Institute Film Archive in Budapest, on Hungarian animation and the enduring popularity of Cat City. Moderated by Dennis Bartok. New commentary by Sam Deegan, who has been all over these announcements tonight. New essay by Walter Cha, 3 rare animated shorts. And I mean, this just, again, a solid release for a film like this. And ooh, the cat movie.
Oh man, I've dug myself into it now. I gotta tell you, I mean, last month when Craig was on and debuted the trailer for this, it was incredible. And as we mentioned, there's a musical adaptation of Cat City that you could. I don't know if people can find it, but people can look that up and get some additional context. There's a sequel. Yeah, so this cat movie is going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is the third time Walter Chaw's come up tonight as well. Let's see. We got a question. When is TerraVision dropping new titles? I've heard a rumor, but I don't want to say anything too explicit, but you may want to pay attention in the next 10 days or so. Going to the next title. 4K release from Canadian International Pictures of East End Hustle from 1976, keeping it with the Trauma distributed titles. East End Hustle is a Trauma title. And this says Cindy was a hooker trapped in the East End Hustle. Now she's getting revenge on those who treated her like dirt. Cindy is outraged by the sadism of her pimp boyfriend, Dan, so she turns her back on him and her seedy profession. As he attempts to lure her back, she doubles down on her rebellion by liberating new recruit Marianne and giving safe haven to several of Dan's most prized employees, crippling his business. As this gang of frustrated sex workers waits for the dust to settle, Dan grows incensed, escalating the dispute into a full-blown war, leaning into his mafia connections and insatiable appetite for violence. Dan orders vicious retaliation, but Cindy has some vengeful tricks up her sleeve.
This film's a lot of fun. I recommend the trailer on this one too. It really tells you what the film's all about.
Wow.
Well,
pretty good. Got someone saying might have to check out Cat City. Yes, please.
You better.
Check out the cat movie. Great art on the slip for sure. And this is Canadian International's first 4K release. This is one that they've been teasing as coming for months, their first 4K, and it's finally here. Newly scanned and restored in 4K from the OCN by CIP with sound transferred from the 35mm optical track. Commentary featuring Paul Carup of Canucksploitation.com and film historian Jason Pachonsky. There is a new interview with the writer-director Frank Vitali on Montreal, Maine, and his career before East End Hustle. New interview with Lloyd Kaufman, and Kaufman reflects on his Canadian connections. New interview with the writer Bill Brownstein on Cinepix and its co-founder John Dunning. Audio interview with composer Len Bloom, and then a booklet featuring a new essay by Alexandra Heller-Nicholas. This appears to me like a must-buy title.
Yeah, she's been prolific these past few months. This is great. Yeah, this is a definite, you guys.
Yeah, this sounds incredible. I'm very, very excited about this release. Canadian International has been doing great work since their beginning, but especially over this last year. I think they've had one of the more solid outings from all the partner labels for 2023. Very happy for them, and I hope this is able to continue. Next up, AGFA releasing The God Monster of Indian Flats. This is one that they had released previously, and it went out of print, and now they are releasing it again. And of course, it has to have a slipcover. And there is, as far as I can tell, nothing new on this disc whatsoever.
But I did not get the original run, so now I've got to think about this one.
It's an interesting cover, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, it's quite a movie.
I've never seen this one.
It's that quote from Frank Henenlotter is accurate. Get the straitjackets ready. I'm not sure what it means, but it's right. I guess he's saying the movie will drive you crazy.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's not really a god monster. It's like a sheep.
Yeah, it's an interesting title there.
The sheep god.
Michael Smith says, glad they distinguished this one from the other god monsters.
Yeah, this one's specific to Indian Flat.
Next is from Factory 25. They are putting out Happer's Comet from 2022. And for some reason, I love the slip art on this. Very big fan of that. But I'm curious to see this. I've not watched Ham on Rye yet. I don't think I picked that one up.
Yeah.
But this is the follow-up from the director Tyler Taormina, who put up Ham on Rye that Factory 25 released. I think that might have been like their first or second title.
Yeah,
it was very early. This one has a short film on there from the same director, booklet with essays by Carlos Valladares, and then the director. So, yeah, Factory 25. They're pretty quiet.
I got to tell you, when this first came up, I was kind of skimming through. I thought it said Fapper's Comet, and was like, well, this should probably be on Melusine. And I looked at the slipcover, and I was like, well, that still seems like Fapper's Comet to me, based on the cover there. But then I realized gradually that it was an H. But now I can't get it out of my head.
Yes. Wow.
And now neither can any of you.
Just a dollop of Dodson. Now you can order from Saturn's Core this month Hayride Slaughter and Halloween Horrors from 1992 and 2001. Of course, they put the little upskirt shot there on the back of the slipcover. There's nothing that's safe again on this. So basically, it's a double feature, and it sounds pretty good. Audio commentary with the director on Hayride Slaughter, and that's moderated by Ross, who is the co-director of Mail Order Murder and also runs Saturn's Core. There's an interview with actor Jim O'Rear. There's a promo shoot with Tina Krause's Evil Angel photo shoot. Then we got some featurettes, and then on the other film, Halloween Horrors, we got an audio commentary with Gary Whitson, again moderated by Ross Snyder. Segment from an uncompleted Wave holiday-themed feature starring Halloween Horrors actress Deanna Lee, and then a Wave custom commercial. The Wave titles, how do you feel about those?
For some reason, in general, I've been getting more and more into Saturn's Core. Just something about them has made me feel positively towards their output, and so I've been checking out more of their titles. This one, I don't know why, but it looks intriguing.
I will say Saturn's Core has been selling out much faster than normal lately. They did not sell for a while, and it seems like the last few months they've just been on a really great run. And cool. I hope that means people are checking out shot on video and not just sort of dismissing it as lower quality, not great. So, yeah. Next title, Inn of the Damned and Night of Fear is coming as a double feature from Umbrella. Once again, as we've talked about with Umbrella previously, they had put this out in Australia. This is just the US release of that same exact disc. If you've got the old release, you don't need this. However, I got to admit, the slipcover is pretty rad on this one.
I know nothing.
And it's a double feature.
Yeah. I got nothing on them. I don't know what they are.
Let's go through them real quick then, because it's a good double feature. Night of Fear says, in this groundbreaking homegrown creepfest, a deranged reclusive hermit delights in dismembering unwary travelers and keeping company with the colony of rats fed on blood. When a young woman crashes into one of the madman's ghoulish road traps, so begins an unrelenting avalanche of terror. And then Inn of the Damned says, on a lonely stretch of road deep in an isolated rainforest lies an eerie, forgotten inn. Few travelers stop there now, and those that do disappear. Kincaid, an American bounty hunter, is hired to unravel the inn's chilling secrets. He is soon confronted by its demented owners, obsessed with guarding the nightmarish truth within. And on this, we're going to have a visual essay on the career of filmmaker Terry Bork by film buff Paul Harris. Extended, not quite Hollywood interviews, because they use those on almost all of the Umbrella releases. Terry Bork's TV episode of The Raiders with introduction by Jack Thompson. Trailer reel introduced by the director. A Night of Fear is going to have an audio commentary with the producer, editor Rod Hay and actress Carla Hugavine, moderated by filmmaker Mark Hartley. And then Inn of the Damned is going to have a commentary with Rod Hay and Tony Bonner. Stills, poster galleries, a booklet with an essay by Alexandra Heller Nicholas. Had to. Let's see. All of our Aussie friends are chiming in.
Yeah.
Great Ozploitation double classic. Great double feature from a great Aussie director. Paul says, got the umbrella, but I love that slip.
Well,
Nice slip.
That's enough of an endorsement for me. I'll pick it up.
That's a good point, Paul. He says, same. I wish we could get just the slips from Umbrella. That'd be nice. Does Umbrella not have good relationship with distributors? They have a couple titles I want, but can't find them anywhere but their site. They're kind of everywhere. You can get their stuff on Umbrella, Diabolic, Cinema Classics, Grindhouse Video. They just wait for them to be in stock now. I don't think many of them are doing pre-orders on their stuff anymore. Either way, this looks great. Then we got the next title from the Film Desk, which is called The War is Over from 1966. Interesting looking slipcover here. And this, go ahead.
Oh, that was an automatic purchase for me. That's, being a Renee film and everything.
I kind of figured as such. This is Region A locked. We got a short film by Renee and Robert Hessens that is from 1949. It's 14 minutes. Commentary by Christina Alvarez Lopez and Adrian Martin. Adrian Martin, if you've never heard, is a really great film critic that is very professional, very classically educational focus type of film critic. So great commentaries.
Oh, and look at that cast. Bruh. Ingrid Tulin, bruh. Love her.
It's the first time anybody has said that name with bruh after
it. I mean, she was so good in Wild Strawberries. She was incredible in Salon Kitty, the Tinto Brass film. Genevieve Bujold, Anouk Ferja. I mean, awesome.
So this is going to have also a new trailer by Zach Clark and an essay by Alexandra Heller Nicholas. I'm just kidding. She's not on this.
I was going to believe
it. Good God, man. Okay. Marfa Girl 1 and 2 is coming from Dark Star Pictures. This is, of course, from Larry Clark. And so I was shocked this did not sell out almost immediately.
I tell you, man, you keep this up, you're going to have to move your show to Truth Social.
Oh, man. Aren't they pretty anti-nudity there? Anyways.
Or X. I guess you could do it on X.
Paul says, well, we're actually on X right now. Paul says, when are you going to have Alexander Heller Nicholas on the show? I can't say the date, but I can say it's happening.
Woo!
Yeah, this is supposed to be great. I've never seen either of the Marfa Girl movies. Have you, Will?
No, I've never been all that interested in Larry Clark. I'm not like anti, but I just haven't been interested in him. So I was not aware of these films' existence. I don't know. Looks like there's some boobies. But, I don't know. I don't know what to say about them. I don't think there were any trailers up on the site, so I'm sure I could find some. But
well, and speaking of that, Bare Bones released like crazy. We got a trailer on the disc and a commentary with the director, and that's about it. It's a 1-disc set, and it's all smushed together there. Sibner says there's a lot of nudity in these films. I can tell you that.
Well, and see, that makes me uncomfortable since the story's about, like a 16-year-old. Yeah. I mean, I know that all the actors are of age and everything, but I feel uncomfortable when they're playing young.
I get it. Let's see. We need a Blu-ray of Bully, says Simner. I completely agree. Simner says, in his defense, Clark used his one phone call to record the commentary.
That's a good one.
That is a great comment. And Tony, absolutely. It's Larry Clark. It's the standard for nudity in his films. Next up, ETR Media, who is suddenly turning into the nostalgia documentary company, they are putting out "Pretending I'm a Superman," the Tony Hawk video game story, and they went all in on the Nintendo 64 cover art here because they knew that it would sell pretty well.
Well, it is true that that video game had such an impact on, just general population interest in skating.
In skating and ska music, so I appreciate for both of those.
I don't know if I feel that way about was. I don't know if I feel the same about that. but that's a really interesting story. I think I'd like to see that.
This is from award-winning Swedish director Ludwig Göre and acclaimed video game producer Ralph D'Amato. "Pretending I'm a Superman" is the story of the skaters and developers who came together to create the best-selling game franchise, as well as look into how skateboarding became a part of the mainstream and continues to influence modern culture. You got 30 minutes of additional interview footage of producer Ralph D'Amato, not in the film, along with Tony Hawk's mocap session for Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Rodney Mullen skating in front of the Neversoft offices for a magazine shoot, drone footage of the Neversoft offices, concept art scans, Q&A session from the premiere, and subtitles. I got to admit, I mean, this kind of hits all of my nostalgic buttons. It sucks.
I never played the N64 before.
I've never had an N64. I've played it a handful of times, and I got to say, worst controller ever for any video game console.
Okay.
By far.
So now ETR has done a documentary about Sega, a documentary about the
VHS, cassettes, James Bond, Clue. They just did that other YouTube documentary.
That was the Sega.
Sega. That was Sega. You're right.
Yeah. All I know about that GoldenEye video game is that it has really good pause music.
Yeah.
Never played it either.
Michael Smith, Neversoft was the developers of the original Tony Hawk Pro Skater. They were the video game company. Yes, most people play this on PlayStation for sure. Not Nintendo 64, which is why it's an odd choice.
Oh, okay.
Scream Queen was a great Enjoy the Ride. That was before they turned the corner.
Oh, yeah, that was them, wasn't it? Yeah.
Those aren't all Enjoy the Ride, though. Those are completely different companies, Sibner.
The erotic thrillers, that was Yellow Veil.
That was Yellow Veil last month.
Yeah, I picked that one up. I'm going to have a big-ass box coming my way this month. Tell you what.
Next is from VHS Hitfest, Psycho Paul's Film Festival from 1990, and they got an interesting looking one. And I've heard from Dan that this is supposed to be great. A bloody, sadistically funny satire of cheap horror exploitation film, Psycho Paul, a sinister, egotistical filmmaker, introduces previews and scenes from his films as a tribute to himself. He believes that his films are the greatest and worst films ever made. Paul Van Dan Elzen sharpened his skills on the sets of some of Todd Sheets' classic SOV films before turning the camera on himself, his brother, and his mom, and making one of the most mind-meltingly absurd movies ever released. Trust us, you have never seen another movie like this. VHS Hitfest is so proud to present this mesmerizing outsider art epic for the first time ever on disc, complete with hours and hours of extras.
All right.
Got an audio commentary with the filmmakers, archival Todd Sheets and Paul Van Dan Elzen interview, new Todd Sheets interview, raw footage, a featurette called The Cleansing of Psycho Paul, and then a Psycho Story, The Making of Psycho Paul's Film Festival. There's an Easter egg and subtitles.
Love that name. Paul Van Dan Elzen. Mary Van Dan Elzen. Oh, that's great.
Michael Smith was going to get the Clue documentary, but saw a few minutes of it and it looked really bad. Does it get better? Not really. It's
you interview the director?
I did, and I did as a huge Clue fan. I appreciated a couple of the insights, but if you don't like the quality, it does not get better.
Yeah.
Not at all. Next up, Squaring the Circle is coming from
Oh, yeah.
Utopia. And this says celebrated photographer, creative director, and filmmaker Anton Corbin's first feature documentary, Squaring the Circle, tells the story of Storm Thorgerson and Aubrey Pope Howell, the creative geniuses behind the iconic album art design studios Hypnosis. Have you seen this? Because you seem excited, or are you just talking about the album art?
Yeah, no, I watched the trailer for this, and I was really intrigued. I mean, it looks, it's a standard talking head documentary, but it's about the making of all these incredible album covers. Dark Side of the Moon, Houses of the Holy, Wish You Were Here, on and on and on and on. So I'm really intrigued to see it. They've got some great interviews, everyone from Roger Waters to Noel Gallagher. Yeah. Paul McCartney's in it. I'm fascinated by the story, and apparently these guys were fairly not shady, but they were shady. I think they were kind of shady. So say some of the interview subjects, but real characters. So yeah, learning about their process, I think will be fascinating.
I agree.
Now this one I actually pre-ordered though.
Next is Decalog putting out The Taking from 2021. Yeah. And this one is by Alexander O. Felipe. And it says, this illuminating essay uses film scenes to tell of the forced cultural appropriation of a world-famous landscape. Monument Valley is one of the most recognizable landscapes in the world. Its iconographic use in American Westerns has had a lasting influence on stock photography, advertising, and tourism. The valley has been given mythical significance as an image of a primitive West firmly in the hands of white people and meant to be protected from intruders. The fact that Monument Valley's traditional Navajo territory has been obscured in the process. A radical examination of Monument Valley's representation in cinema and advertising since John Ford's Stagecoach in 1939. The Taking scrutinizes how a site located on sovereign Navajo land came to embody the fantasy of the Old West, replete with self-perpetuating falsehoods, and why it continues to hold mythic significance in the global psyche.
Yeah, I teach a course on Westerns, and so I felt like this is likely something that's going to be useful to my students. Plus, they interview Sir Christopher Frayling, so that brings it some legitimacy for sure. Oh wait, that was a horrible thing to say because that's some British imperialist.
A knighted British imperialist.
But Frayling, he's a true expert on Westerns is what I mean by that. And so, yeah.
This is also going to have an interview with the filmmaker, a Super 8 montage of Monument Valley footage that was used in the film, a short film by the filmmaker, a trailer, and then a booklet essay by Scout Tafoya, not Alexander.
Hey, old Scout. That's cool. Cool to see Scout.
Yeah, this looks incredibly intriguing. This is a very interesting take from one of the partner labels. Take was not meant to be a pun on the title there, but now I see it. This is something that I'm super interested in, even though I've never really loved Westerns.
Yeah, well, and Scout Tafoya just wrote a pretty good book about John Ford called But God Made Him a Poet. Worth checking out. Michael asked, do I like the Searchers? Hell yeah, I like the Searchers.
It's a requirement.
I took my wife to see the Searchers, and as a reminder, my wife pretty much only likes horror movies and porn. And so I made her go to the theater with me to see the Searchers. And I've seen the Searchers, I don't know, 50 goddamn times. We get to the end of the Searchers, and it was the first time I'd seen it in the theater, and I started to weep. I wept, and my wife she looked at me with this just disgusted face, and just just walked out, and I had to follow her, just shaking.
Well, going from Will weeping to the searchers to Shaun the Sheep. December 12th, Shout Factory is releasing Shaun the Sheep, the complete series, and I'm kind of impressed with this release from Shout. It's got a lot on here. It's got the Farmer's Llamas 2015 special, the Flight Before Christmas special, Mossy Bottom Shorts special, Champion Sheep shorts, and all of the episodes, and you can get it on their site for $40, which means it'll probably be cheaper everywhere else.
I want to see a crossover with God Monster of Indian Flats. That would be cool.
Oh, that would be pretty fun. This looks pretty good. Next up, Shout is releasing on December 5th Point Break on 4K as part of the Shout Select line. As usual, we don't know about any extras. They are supposedly in progress and will be announced at a later date. Point Break UHD. Tell me how you feel, Will.
We shared time. It's it's cheesy. But
Point Break is amazing.
Yeah. I don't love it the way everybody seems to love it, but it's certainly entertaining. I find it to be, a kind of lovably campy satire of dude bros.
This is a very homoerotic movie, very campy, and very fun. This is a wonderful release. Not the release I'm going to buy of this movie, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Next up from Shout, the Ring Collection on 4K, which includes the 3 American films in the Ring series. We have The Ring with the original film on 4K, The Ring 2, both theatrical and unrated cuts, and then Rings. And I've never seen any of the sequels. Will, have you seen any of them? Because everybody tells me they are awful.
I saw one where there was this like CGI deer or something.
I think that's the second one.
Okay.
How do you think that's going to look in 4K?
I can't say one way or the other. I didn't really give them a chance. I don't think I guess I must have seen part 2, but I can't remember seeing either of the other ones. So I couldn't speak to it.
So I got to admit, I love the Naomi Watts Ring, the first one. I think it's a really well crafted remake. Does enough different from the first one to make it worthwhile, and tells a very similar story with the same type of lore, and really well acted. Great movie. Everybody tells me
that's peak era Naomi Watts.
Yeah. I'm kind of worried about the sequels, and the fact that these are coming in a collection. I wouldn't be surprised if Shout had to put them in a collection. This was not a choice by them, kind of like the Halloween sequels they did last year. Those had to be distributed as a collection.
But, I mean, I don't know. They released the Night of the Demons movies separately.
Right, because those will sell better, and they will each get their own sales numbers.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't know.
In other words, if they put these all out individually, Rings would probably only sell like 20 copies.
I don't know. Did Rings get bad reviews? I don't.
The second two, the Ring 2 and Rings both got pretty awful reviews overall.
Did Gore Verbinski direct all 3 of them, or just the first?
No, just the first.
Oh, okay.
As far as I remember.
I didn't know if like Guillermo del Toro had come in and done one of the sequels or something.
It's Rings is like the Mike Flanagan unknown film that he did. Right. No, as far as I'm aware, no. Moving right along, The Man in the Iron Mask from 1998 is coming on 4K from Shout as part of the Shout Select line. They had previously released this on Blu-ray, so it is a 4K upgrade. They are saying final extras and specs will be confirmed later. I'm doubting that they're going to get anything new. It'll probably be the same as their first release as far as extras. Oh, wow. Tony says the original director of Ringu directed The Ring 2.
Oh.
Huh.
Well, now I'm kind of intrigued to see the whole thing.
Have you ever seen The Man in the Iron Mask, Will?
No.
This is a stacked cast in a not great movie. It's fun to watch once. I don't love this movie, but huge cast. We got Leo DiCaprio, of course, Jeremy Irons, John Malkovich, Gerard Depardieu, Gabriel Byrne. Fun cast. Just very cheesy, kind of.
Is there enough scenery to go around with all that chewing?
There's a lot of chewing, I will say. And Roddy says not enough white guys on the cover.
They cramped him in. Well, it being the late '90s, I'm surprised it doesn't have like an insert and Omar Epps somehow,
and featuring Omar Epps. Yeah, I just don't think this one holds up all that well. Next up is The Kill Room from 2023. Shout is putting this out on 4K on December 5th, and this has a trailer on the disc, and they're openly saying we're not doing any more features for this.
Okay.
I'm hearing though that this is actually pretty good. Uma Thurman, Samuel L. Jackson, Joe Manganiello. It's supposed to be a pretty fun movie. Decent reviews, and people I trust say they like it.
Okay.
Next up, Showdown at the Grand with Terrence Howard, John Savage, and Dolph Lundgren in
okay, that's it. I'm gonna see it.
Look at that hair.
Dolph Lundgren as Geddy Lee.
This is coming on Blu-ray on December 12th from Shout, and I've heard nothing about this one.
They should do a Geddy Lee biopic of Dolph Lundgren. I think you could pull it off.
It'd probably be called Moving Pictures, but moving would be in italics, and that's it.
Right. For Showdown at the Grand, what is this? I can't tell whether they're on. It's like what is it?
It's a no-holds-barred action comedy. Proud cinephile George Fuller loves the movies like no one else. As the owner of a movie theater, he's always got the best seat in the house, but when corporate developers threaten his livelihood, he finds himself closer to the action than he ever imagined. Now Fuller must defend his family business against an onslaught of ne'er-do-wells alongside legendary action star Claude Luke, played by Dolph Lundgren, as art imitates life in a showdown for the ages.
Well, I thought The Kill Room was a no-holds-barred action comedy.
Yeah, they could use another copywriter.
Well, Alexandra Heller Nicholas is available probably.
Probably not at this point. We've got multiple people calling out Tommy Wiseau. Terry said it looks like Tommy Wiseau. Sibner says it looks like Gene Simmons mixed with Tommy Wiseau. Love it. Next up, and we're going to come back to Shout. It was an odd day for them. They released half their titles and then another half of their titles. December 4th, on a 4K steelbook from Warner in the UK only, Rio Bravo is coming, and you can order this now, and it looks like a pretty solid steelbook, actually.
Ooh.
It's pretty nice.
Correct me on this. Did I hear something about this and several other 4K classic movies, East of Eden, Giant, were missing all the extras from the...
All the extras in the US were all off of the disc.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Especially
really awful releases.
Yeah, because my copy of Rio Bravo's got a John Carpenter. Oh, well, they do have the John Carpenter.
Well, this is in the UK. This is not the US release. All of the US releases were terrible.
Oh, okay. So I can get this, but I have to stay away from that.
Yes.
All right. Well, shit. Already got the Giant.
Wave, I believe Maltese Falcon came out as a steelbook in the US as well, if I remember right. Next up, not going to play this loud or anything, but wanted to highlight that Wicked Vision is sharing some stuff on their upcoming Vincent Price documentary, and it looks fantastic. This is a little teaser with Victoria Price discussing it, and some of the stuff that Laurent has shared behind the scenes. I'm so excited to see this entire project. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh man, everybody follow Laurent. The like his Instagram content is awesome because it's like stuff from Wicked Vision, metal shows that I'm going to, and I love my cats.
And that's it.
And it's so nice.
He's so wholesome. I love him.
Super cute cat.
Simner says he stole your book bit. I won't spend too much time on this, but I was able to appear on the Directors Club podcast this week with Billy Ray Bruton, and we discussed all of the filmography of Don Bluth.
Oh.
And it was so much fun. It was a freaking honor to be able to be on the Directors Club. I love this show, and Don Bluth was a staple of my childhood. And I found out going through this, there's a couple that I had missed somehow entirely through my childhood, and was able to revisit every single one of Don Bluth's films. And my goodness, I don't remember who I was talking to. Oh, I think I do. It was a new person that started messaging me on Instagram that's been following the channel. When do we get a Don Bluth 4K box set? Because some of his, all of his films would look remarkable in 4K. The HDR in his films alone would make these shine. Love Don Bluth as a director. If you're interested, please check out the Directors Club podcast because it was a whole lot of fun.
I'm looking up the Directors Club podcast because I'm not subscribed to it, but it comes up with some like leadership coaching thing.
Oh. Yes, Sibner, I know they're Fox.
Do you know how to find it?
Well, it is linked there. You can go to directorsclubpodcast.com, and then that will take you to your podcast provider.
Okay, I was looking through my Apple podcast thing.
That should work too.
Nah, it took me to some leadership coaching crap.
I don't know. Sony announced a Spider-Verse 2 movie collector's edition, which, again, I don't love that they announced this when we already know that there's a third movie announced. There's going to be a 3-movie collection. May as well wait. This is going to be a 4-disc 4K UHD set. 2 movies will come with a 7-inch vinyl with 2 songs from the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse soundtrack, all new exclusive comic book art cards, an exclusive replica of Miles' sketchbook. And I got to admit, it's a good-looking set. The art looks incredible, but there's a 3rd film coming. This seems so terrible.
I found it. I found Directors Club. It was the 2nd hit. 216 episodes already? Damn, it's going to take me forever to catch up on that one.
And they're very long, too. Some of them are super long. It's Bill Ackerman does a lot of them, too. So good luck.
Geez. Yeah.
Subaquatic is the one that I was talking to about the Don Bluth stuff. Yeah, I would love that set. Ragnar says the problem is collectors can't wait. Yeah, this will probably sell very well. Sadly. This is where the shout stuff starts again. So December 19th, they are releasing JFK on 4K. And this looks to be a big box. I'm very, very curious to see what all is going to come in this. Of course, it'll likely include JFK Revisited, but this box looks way bigger than just JFK and JFK Revisited. I'm curious. Maybe they got the novel? We'll see.
Great new book by Joseph McBride about Kennedy conspiracy theories, which I think he believes. I'm pretty sure it was the mafia, though.
Yeah. We'll see what's in here. Of course, Shout doesn't want to share any information. We'll find out 2 weeks before it releases.
This is definite. This is one of Stone's best films.
Clearly, completely agree. I mean, it's Kevin Costner, so yeah, has
to. That's generally not a reason for me to get a movie, but
and that's why we're complimentary features there. Craig says you reading.
I think Laurie Metcalf is my favorite performer in the cast. Well, no,
Laurie
Jack.
Metcalf is kind of amazing at everything she touches.
She is amazing. She's awesome.
I mean, even Scream 2, she was incredible in that movie.
What do you mean even? It's a great movie.
It is a great movie, but there's stuff like Lady Bird where she knocks it out of the frickin' park.
That's true. You know, she did. She was one of the leads in. She was one of the leads in Norm Macdonald's sitcom called Norm, The Norm Show.
The Norm Show, yeah,
etc. And she was great. She's so funny. She elevated it.
Subaquatic is asking, Will, you don't have a complete Kevin Costner Blu-ray library?
I'm trying to think of what movies he's in that I like.
He's in a whole bunch of great movies.
What's one?
I mean, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is a top tier film, I will say.
Right, I know you really like that one.
That's it. No, I'm just kidding. I gotta.
Oh, you know what? I like A Perfect World.
I don't know that I've seen A Perfect World.
Clint Eastwood directed it, and
that's why.
Yeah, he kidnaps that little kid, and it's a comedy. It's like funny. It's a comedy.
That complete dismissal was for Craig, who's watching, because he loves everything Clint has directed. Gosh, yeah, the big one for me, obviously, other than Robin Hood, is he's great in The Postman, but Field of Dreams, that was huge for me.
Yeah.
And then this is probably going to be a hot take for everybody watching. I really loved Mr. Brooks. Did you ever watch Mr. Brooks?
Oh,
this was such an unappealing film because it's Kevin Costner and Dane Cook as a serial killer and a wannabe serial killer, and it's actually really fun.
Okay.
It is underrated. Mr. Brooks is great. The Untouchables. Yeah, that's the obvious answer.
Okay. Yeah, I like The Untouchables.
All right, let's carry on because Shout has some good stuff coming still. The Dead Zone is coming on 4K just fairly recently after they finally did the Blu-ray, and Imprint did the Blu-ray. This is coming on December 19th on 4K. God, I saw Swing Vote in the theater, Craig.
Craig's gonna be like, "Don't sleep on Tin Cup."
Tin Cup's a good movie.
Oh, get out of here.
Oh man, this is fun. Yeah, Dead Zone's coming 4K. And then this one I did not see many people hyped about, but it looks really good. December 19th, they're putting out Masaki Yuasa 5 films, and it's got an exclusive 60-page book featuring an essay by Emily Yoshida, and excerpts from the sketchbooks of the director, and it's got all kinds of stuff on here, like commentaries and exclusive shorts and Cinematheque Q&A, character drawings, scene breakdowns, interviews. This looks like a really solid release if you're into this type of stuff.
Yeah, if you're gonna check out animation this month, get Cat City. But if you're gonna check out 2 animation titles, this box set looks like a real winner.
I agree. Then Shout is putting out Last Man Standing on December 26th, the Bruce Willis movie. They say extras in progress and announced later, but again, this is one that was out previously on Blue. I don't really expect them to do a whole lot with this.
I thought it was like a double feature on Blue, like 2 with like Long Kiss Goodbye.
Well, this came out previously from.
Did it have its own?
No, actually, you're right. It was on with The Last Boy Scout.
Oh, Last Boy Scout. What did I say?
And
Last Night.
Yes, and then it was also on a triple feature with 16 Blocks and The Last Boy Scout. 16 Blocks is a great movie.
Yeah, I'm interested in Last Man Standing because I've not seen it before, and of course it's Walter Hill, but it's Yojimbo.
Right.
So, that's always there's a good history with Yojimbo remakes.
Craig says, how could they get features when they spent all their budget on that cover art? Lots of love for Walter Hill lately. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, geez. Waiting for Hickey and Boggs to get a re-release.
Going to the next title, Shaw Brothers Classics Volume 4. This is coming on December 19th. And from what I hear, there might be one or two more ready to go in the early part of 2024.
Good
So
God.
open your wallets if you want them. Everything that I'm reading, including information from Jared Honor, who's seen all these multiple times, says this is the best of the Shaw Brothers sets put out by Shout so far by a long shot.
Wow.
And they are not slowing down at all. This is crazy.
Do all of them have 12 titles? So that's 48.
Just from those 4, and then they've done 2 other Shaw Brothers box sets too.
And then the 2 others.
So they've done...
And then the Arrows.
I think we're at 57 Shaw Brothers titles released by Shout in like 8 months. 8 or 9 months, something like that.
Wow.
It's crazy. And then on top of that, of course, the 2 Shaw scopes with supposedly more Shaw scopes coming, but we haven't had any announcements on that yet. So this box set has the Rebel Intruders, 2 Champions of Shaolin, Legend of the Fox, Black Lizard, House of Traps, Masked Avengers, The Sword Stained with Royal Blood, 5 Element Ninjas, Shaolin Prince, Shaolin Intruders, Holy Flame of the Martial World, Opium, and the Kung Fu Master. Wild, wild box set. This seems crazy, and they're releasing a giant box set every 2 months right now.
The only title of those I've seen is 5 Element Ninjas, and that was like an EP VHS recording. So like compressed square picture and everything. So I'll take Jared's word for it. This will have to go to the top of the list.
And the crazy thing, these all get extras. I know that they're not announced yet, but they just announced the special features for the 3rd box set. And pretty much every film has a commentary. They've got interviews from actors. They've got some analysis with Frank Jang on some of these. They're not playing around. These are actual legit sets. They're expensive, but they're legit sets.
Yeah. I gotta figure something out here.
Oh, God. Sibner says, can you imagine if they had designed the art on all these boxes to line up on your shelf? OCD collectors would lose their minds. It'd be crazy because they're each $170. So much money.
Yeah.
Next up is my most exciting announcement for this month, though. One of my favorite comedies of all time, Clue, is getting a 4K release from Shout Factory. And this is coming on December 12th as part of the Shout Select line. It says special features coming eventually. God, I hope they get something good. This is one of the best movies of all time. How do you feel about Clue?
I like Clue.
All right, good to know.
It's not one of my favorite movies of all time or anything, but I it's very entertaining, very funny. If I were Shout Factory and I really wanted to gouge everybody, it'd be a 4K, but each of the endings would have its own release.
And its own separate slipcover. Buy the Colonel Mustard version. Wow. Somebody pointed out, and I can't remember who it was, but all of the characters, all of the weapons, and all of the locations are all listed on this poster, except for the study. It's the only one not listed. Why would that be the only thing omitted?
Oh.
All righty. That was it for Shout Factory announcements, except there's one more that got sort of announced later. But before we leave Shout Factory, I gotta bring up one thing. There's no mention of lobby cards this month. There's no enamel pins. There's no alternate slipcovers. There's no bundles. There's no prism stickers. There's no snow globes.
You know what this means? One man can make a difference.
That was the most shocking thing to me this week at all. The fact that none of those are on any of these releases, I imagine they could have done a lot on some of these.
They could have.
I am shocked.
I think you wore them down.
They got tired of the rants. Sure. I highly doubt Shout Factory is watching this show. Severin is having a sale over at oldies.com. This is running until October 9th. You can get stuff that are 50% off list price. The sale does not include Severin titles that are not yet released or that were released after June 1st of this year. They've got some with some decent prices over there, so if you're itching, you may want to check it out.
Did you see their other sale?
I did, and we're going to talk about that one in just a minute.
Okay.
The Expendables is getting a Walmart exclusive 4K steelbook soon. It'll be all four of the Expendables films. This art is insanity. I don't know if I like it or if I think it's like gauche. But I just wish the movies were decent.
2 is good.
Is that the one with Dolph Lundgren?
They all have Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, okay. I've only ever seen the first one.
2 is the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme as the villain.
That's why. Got it.
Yeah, the big problem with 1 could have been good, but the editing was so crap. I mean, you've got guys who can actually fight, like Jet Li and Dolph Lundgren actually know how to fight. You don't need to cut around them like you do with
Right.
you have to with
Like
Stallone.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, or Stallone. But 2, I thought handled the fight choreography pretty well. 3 was fairly forgettable, and I have not seen 4, but 2.
So I got one question for you because this show is mostly about physical media. Do you have many steelbooks?
Yeah, I probably have. I don't know, 20.
Okay, so this is a regular size steelbook coming with 8 discs in it.
Oh.
They are stacking 4 discs on each side of a steelbook.
Well, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing I wanted to highlight about this. 8 discs in a single steelbook is
I mean, if you're shopping at Walmart, you're probably the one who scratches the discs. Anyway, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really think of Walmart shoppers as being like.
Speaking of, I got a steelbook in from Walmart today. I'm not going to hide what it is because everybody will know. I'm going to show it to the Patreon first. Listen to this. Arrived in a bubble mailer and somehow safe. I'm shocked. So this is what I talked about earlier. I put up an interview with Ewan Cant from Vinegar Syndrome. He is a producer that lives over in the UK. He used to work for Arrow for quite some time. He's only been with Vinegar Syndrome for about a year. He is the mastermind behind the Herschel Gordon Lewis Feast box set.
Oh man, that thing is a masterpiece.
And we talk about that for quite some time. And I really appreciated getting some insight on some of the stuff that he's done. The dude is very humble and a really, really great interview. I think give it a watch if you are into it.
Man, I wish I could have asked him a question. I got a question about that Herschel Gordon Lewis box set.
What was the question going to be?
It's unimpeachable, but for one thing, how could they not get the Uh-Oh show in there?
It's a good question.
How are you going to leave out the Uh-Oh show, man? The Uh-Oh show.
Oh, thanks, Nicomedes. And Sibner too. Some people liking the interview. Appreciate that. All right. So here's the last thing from Shout Factory. December 5th, Point Break is coming as a 4K steelbook from Best Buy. And this is the art on it. And I'm wondering what you think, because this is like dividing the physical media community right now. Half the people think this is incredible. Half the people hate this. I think this is a really fun take on the movie, actually.
Well, without giving an opinion on this specifically, I would say you look at the original poster art of Point Break, and that's not great, right? Like, who cares about the original poster art?
Right.
This is, that's amusing. And
I
that
like this style.
and that happens. That happens in the movie, right?
Yeah.
I see. There's little quotes from the movie in there. That's funny.
Yeah, I think it's pretty well done. Obviously, the color's a little blown up to be like extra comic book style. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And obviously, they probably didn't have rights to use the actual faces of actors, and so they went with the mask that they could use. And it doesn't even look like Reagan, but hey, it works, and I appreciate this art style.
Oh, looks like Reagan to me.
Well, looks like Reagan in the late 90s. Anyways, we got some details for the Ballad of Little Joe coming from Kino on December 5th. This is going to have a new audio commentary by Maggie Greenwald and the cinematographer Declan Quinn. Also, we'll have a new interview with the actress Susie Amos. And I think, actually, you and I talked about this the first time.
Good movie.
That's what I remember. Then Universal announced that they are putting out Stealing Christmas, featuring Tony Danza and Leah Thompson from 2003 as a pressed mod Blu-ray release. No special features.
This is from 2003. I thought it must be something new.
Nope, this is from 2003.
Wow. Okay. I don't know anything about it. Is it good?
It's Tony Danza.
So, okay, on to the next title.
October 17th, we're getting Barbie on 4K and Blu-ray from Warner. And this is the slipcover on the 4K. Here is the back. We're going to have 6 little featurettes, it looks like. Welcome to Barbie Land, Becoming Barbie, Playing Dress Up, Musical Make-Believe, All-Star Barbie Party, and It's a Weird World. Kind of odd that this isn't getting like an extravagant release from them. No Steelbook announced at this point. Not as much as I expected. I mean, this was a giant hit for Warner, and they're just sort of quietly releasing it.
What is quiet about that cover?
Because there's nothing crazy that's on it, or no exciting release. I don't remember. You did not go see this, right?
No, I have not seen it, but my daughter said it was funny.
It was better than funny. I think it was incredible.
Huh.
And yeah, most likely after they release this, they'll probably do a Steelbook in like 4 months.
I don't need anyone who consorts with the likes of Noah Baumbach telling me how to feel about anything.
You would appreciate this.
I would?
Probably. It's a good movie. Next.
Well.
Do you want to talk more about Barbie?
I don't like Noah Baumbach.
I mean, he's not in it.
Yeah, but Greta Gerwig, I don't know.
She's good at what she does.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I have nothing bad to say. I have seen it. I've seen
an actual release date. Kino announced that Face Off is coming on 4K on December 12th, and they got some interesting reverse art finally on this one. And this will have a brand new HDR Dolby Vision Master from a 4K scan of the OCN, audio commentary that is archival with John Woo and Mike Werb, Michael Collieri, and then a new audio commentary with Mike Leader and Arna Venema on this.
Oh.
I am excited about that. And all kinds of archival features on the Blu-ray disc.
Phew.
Incredible looking release from Kino. This looks fantastic.
Co-starring Joe Bob Briggs.
Nicomedes wants to know if you like Frances Ha.
I haven't seen it.
That makes sense.
I have a copy because I have the complete Criterion collection, but I haven't watched it yet. And I'm kidding. I don't really hate Greta Gerwig. Or Noah Baumbach. And what does he have to do with anything? I do hate Noah Baumbach's movies, though. But that's not Greta Gerwig's fault, I don't guess. Oh, wait, yeah. Wait, did Noah Baumbach make Frances Ha? Or Greta Gerwig made it?
I believe Noah Baumbach did.
Well, that's a strike against it. But I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a chance.
Frances Ha is pretty good.
Okay.
Face Off. How do you feel about Face Off?
I like Face Off. I do. I think it's just so. It's so unbelievably ridiculous. That's the scene where um, John Nicolas Cage as John Travolta asks Travolta's daughter, she's going on a date, and he's like, "Do you have protection?" And she's like, "Geez, Dad." And he's like, "No, do you have protection?" And boom, gives her a knife. I mean, the whole concept of this movie is so batty.
It's silly, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's a fun movie. It's not top tier John Woo, but it's fun.
super fun, and it has Joe Bob Briggs in it,
So that's a big plus for Will.
always.
Radiance announced their upcoming January slate, January 29th, coming on Blu-ray in the UK. January 30th in the US is The Sting of Death from 1990. And this is going to have a documentary on the Japanese film renaissance of the 90s, featuring interviews with Kohei Uguri, Kiyoshi Kurosawa, Kanito Shindo, and others. That's 52 minutes long. Interview with film scholar Hideki Maeda. That's from this year. A trailer, newly translated subs, reversible sleeve, limited edition booklet featuring a newly translated interview with the director. And this will be limited to 3,000 copies. And looks like a solid film.
Yeah, I'm very interested in this.
Next one is one that Will is very excited for.
Oh,
Goodbye and Amen, coming from Radiance. This, again, will be in the UK and the US on January 29th and 30th, respectively. This one is a Damiani film, whatever. Audio commentary by Nathaniel Thompson and Howard S. Berger on this one.
Oh, that's another plus. Anytime you see Damiano Damiani's name on a film, it's worth a pickup.
And Will has already bought it.
Oh, yeah.
Interview with the editor.
I haven't yet, but I'm gonna.
Archival interview with Wolfgango Soldati, new subs, and then a limited edition booklet featuring new writing by Italian crime cinema expert Lucia Rinaldi.
Hell yeah.
Then this one is coming in the UK only on Blu-ray on January 29th. I, the Executioner. This one is going to have a visual essay on Japanese serial killer films by Jim Harper, appreciation by filmmaker Kenta Fukasaku, newly translated subs, reversible sleeve, and then a limited edition booklet with new writing by Tony Raines and a new translation of archival writing on the film. This is a Tai Kato film, and Radiance is also putting out this Tom Mess book on Tai Kato, and they say this is the first extended writing dedicated to this genre master. This new book provides a guide to a sensationally overlooked filmmaker to accompany a series of Tai Kato releases from Radiance Films, which means there are probably many more coming from this director.
Nice. This is a great slate here.
Yeah, solid releases from Radiance. Yeah, Carey Mulligan is bringing up that Silent Night movie that John Woo's pulling out, and I'm surprised how good it looks. Next up, Radiance partner label Raro Video is putting out Death Occurred Last Night. They had previously released this in the US 9 years ago, and there's nothing here listed about a new scan. Just a warning that Radiance pre 2019 was kind of worrisome. I don't have this one. I don't think I've seen this one. Just a heads up, there's probably not a great scan on this.
Well,
yes. But this will have a limited edition booklet by David Sodergren, and all of the features that were on the previous release are on here as well, I believe. Actually, the audio essay might be brand new there. Did not see the way they worded that. So that's Radiance, and a fair reminder that you can go and still sign up for the annual subscription for Radiance. You can do it month by month for all of 2024. You can do it 6 months at a time. You can do it 3 months at a time. They've set it up in a very confusing way, but actually there's a lot of options. So there's some really cool ways that you can sign up, save on shipping. There's all kinds of really cool stuff there. So loving what Raro is doing as part of the hosted label, and it's cool that you get sort of some perks if you are a Radiant sub. Radiance is killing it. Like, it's really hard to speak so highly about what Fran has done. They have literally only been around. Their first release came out 9 months ago, and they are this incredible. So, oh, Nicomedes, yes. If I said Radiance, I definitely meant Raro. I apologize there. Wave says, so the Raro titles coming from Radiance will have all new encodes, but not scans. That, I believe, is exactly correct. And this one is a big deal because it was out of print in the US for a couple years now. All right. That other Severance sale that Will brought up, they are having a Hollow Week-long sale is what they're calling it. October 4th through the 10th. Save big on a selection of titles chosen by friends, staff members, hosts, etc., and buy more, save more. We talked about this on a couple other sales previously about how would somebody ever do this. Severin is trying it. Buy 3, save 15%, 5, save 20, 7, save 35, 10, save 50, 20, save 60%.
So I participated in this sale, and I found an interesting feature, which is that there are a couple titles where you can buy just the slipcase. And in my case, I was missing slipcases. It's like Bui Omega, Murder. You can get just the slipcase, right? And they count as items to drive up the percentage. So I got those 2 slips along with the Changeling 4K and a couple other things, and it brought the price of the 4K down substantially.
Interesting.
So I got 5 items and got 20% off, and so those 2 slips each got $1 off, so they're $4 a piece. But then brought the price of the higher cost items down substantially. So if you're doing the like 7 or 10, like if you that's a good way of doing it. Even if you already have the slip, that's like that'll bump your price down.
Worth it right there, yeah.
Yeah.
The amount that you would save overall would be worth paying the $3 for the slips.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked now because I had resisted the Changeling 4K just because of the price, and I was trying to be frugal, but then this opportunity came along. I got that and Plaga Zombie
trilogy.
Yeah, which I had not gotten previously. So
I've heard great things about that set too.
Yeah, pretty nice.
All right.
That's a haul.
November 14th, Sony is putting out Guarding Tess once again with Nicolas Cage, like we just talked about, as a pressed mod Blu-ray. This is from 1994. No word on special features yet, but another Nicolas Cage film getting a release.
Did I hear right? Didn't Nicolas Cage say that this was his favorite movie that he ever worked on?
I kind of hope so, but I don't know. I've never heard that.
I think it might have had to do with just the cast and the experience of making the film, as opposed to him saying that this film is his ultimate work of art. But I could be wrong, but for some reason I feel like I remember that. Nicolas Cage saying Guarding Tess was his favorite of his films.
That is hilarious. I have no idea, but I would laugh really hard if that's the case. Another pressed mod Blu-ray. Sony is also releasing the Fog of War from 2003 on November 14th.
That's a definite.
Errol Morris.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Errol Morris, and I so many of his films still only exist on DVD, like Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control, and Mr. Death. So Fog of War, this is a very welcome upgrade. Good.
Yeah, I've not seen this, but I would love to see this. Stand By Me from Sony is getting another 4K release. This is coming in a 4K Steelbook wide release, so it shouldn't sell out fast or anything like that. This is coming on December 5th, and the big difference is just like their other Steelbook releases recently, this will be the new and improved version of their 4K because now it will have Dolby Vision. That's
Cool.
all they're adding to their 4K release. It's an improvement, but really this is a big thing for if you didn't have the previous release, this is the much better reason to get this now. Next up, late last night, MVD Rewind announced that they are putting out Cutting Class on 4K and Blu-ray coming on January 16th. This is the film that Vinegar Syndrome had released previously, and this is coming as part of the Laser Vision line that they do. And they listen to fans. A lot of people that collected the MVD Rewind and wanted to get the new 4K versions, they didn't want the two versions of the slipcovers. So they're going to have a 4K Laser Vision side, and if you flip it over, it'll have the MVD Rewind styled side. So if you want to put it with all of your MVD Rewind Blu-rays, it'll look the same as all of them.
That's cool.
This is going to have the same restoration as the Vinegar Syndrome disc, but this one will be on 4K instead of on Blu-ray. This will have a lot of the extra special features. And then the big thing is this is going to have the R-rated edited version on Blu-ray, but it will only be in SD. So you'll have the uncut and the R-rated cut, which the Vinegar Syndrome did not have that R-rated cut. Yeah. I agree, Wave.
Yeah. Well, this is a movie I mainly like for the cast.
Brad Pitt, Roddy McDowell,
Jill Sholin.
Yeah. And they did kind of tease some upcoming releases from them. It sounds like we're going to be getting some Jean-Claude Van Damme films on 4K eventually, maybe. Mm-hmm. Not fully confirmed yet, but it does sound like it is a huge possibility. Speaking of 4K, Kino is releasing Suspect Zero from 2004 on 4K. That is coming on December 12th. We had discussed this film previously, but now we know the release date and some features. For our features, we got a new 4K master from the OCN. We got an audio commentary by the director, and that appears to be all that's new. Everything else seems to be these archival featurettes. And yeah, looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this film.
It's an odd one. It's Aaron Eckhart and Ben Kingsley that are what's the way to say this? Like psychic serial killer hunters.
It was weird there in the mid 2000s where like all of a sudden Hollywood was making Aaron Eckhart into a star. And I was like, who is this guy? And then he like disappeared.
Yeah, what happened after The Dark Knight?
Oh.
I don't get it. He was really great in Thank You for Smoking, and then decent in The Dark Knight, and then this is a big deal.
Okay.
This is a big deal. Studio Canal, January 29th, 4K and Blu-ray release in the UK. We are getting Peeping Tom 4K UHD. This one is going to have some interesting parts to this. This is coming as part of the Vintage Classics line. It'll have an intro by Scorsese that was from 2007, Legacy of Peeping Tom, Restoring Peeping Tom, The Eye of the Beholder featurette. We got an interview with Thelma Schoonmaker, commentary by Professor Ian Christie, a 32-page booklet with new essays, and then some others that they're adding. Orbit will get this in, and I know that this is going to be a big deal. There are lots of people that are speculating Criterion will release this eventually.
Ooh.
They had put out the DVD, obviously, years and years ago, but it never came out on Blu-ray from Criterion. So what do you think? No.
They never upgraded?
There's been no Blu-ray release of this in the States ever.
Oh, wow. Well, then this is necessary.
I also want to point out, Studio Canal has kind of been hitting it out of the park with their encoding recently. If Studio Canal and Criterion are both putting this out, I'd actually be more likely to choose the Studio Canal release over the Criterion right now.
Wow. Looks like I can get a pretty good price for my Criterion DVD, so...
But then you won't have the complete collection.
Yeah...
This is a must for anybody that has not seen it. I'm watching this month as part of my Horror Gives Back, and yeah, this is definitely a must buy. I'm so glad that they're putting this out, and yeah, this is like the original slasher. I know a lot of people go back to Black Christmas and Halloween, but this came first. This was the Psycho competitor first.
Yeah.
We only got a few left, Will. I'm sorry. There's nothing out there. We announced this previously is coming from Ronin Flix, but now it is available to pre-order. There was a glitch earlier today. Once I posted this, some people tried, and it wasn't allowing you to pre-order, but now you can. And if you get it now, you get $10 off of the price compared to what it will be after Halloween. You pre-order now, shipping around Halloween. You got a new slipcover on this, brand new 2K restoration of the film. Even though Vinegar Syndrome released this a handful of years ago, it got a brand new restoration, I guess. And this, we were speculating when this was announced originally, why are they doing this? But holy hell, there is so much in this film that they are getting out there. New commentary with the director and cast, new commentary with film journalists Heidi Honeycutt and Amanda Reyes, which will be great. New never-before-seen opening sequence storyboards, a whole bunch of archival featurettes, but then a second disc collection of 10 early shorts and films made by the director in the 1980s with newly recorded introductions. Many of them have never been released before. You got some commentary on some of these. This looks like a strong release of this film. So if you got the Vinegar Syndrome, this might be a reason to get it, actually. And it's out of print now from VS, of course.
Yeah. Well, I like Rolf Konevsky. He's made quite a few good ones.
Yeah, and it's just nice to see it back in print too, and it's a good movie. This is like the meta horror movie before Scream came, and yeah, this is a big one. Next up at Ronin Flix, you can also get The Lost, which is from 2006. This is based on the Jack Ketchum novel, and I've not seen this, but this is supposed to be great. You've got new limited edition slip that will be on this for the first pressing new 2K remaster from a 4K scan of the OCN by Ronin Flix. You got a new audio commentary with Chris Severston, who is the director, and the producer of this, Lucky McKee, who directed May and The Woman.
Oh.
And historical audio commentary with Jack Ketchum, moderated by the writer Monica O'Rourke. New interviews with cast members Mark Center, Robin Sidney, and Shay Ashter. Some audition tapes, outtakes, and others. This looks pretty interesting. Anybody seen this? Michael Smith wants to know what your doctorate is in it specifically.
Rhetoric and composition, film studies and literary theory, film theory and literary theory. So fancy.
It's a great question, Carrie Mulligan.
No, they will not.
Will Ronin ever beat their Blu-ray release of Lawnmower 2? The 1980s were dark times for films. Speaking of the 1980s, Sony is releasing Short Circuit 2 as a pressed mod Blu-ray, and this will have some of the special features that were on the UK release. I'm shocked that they are porting some of those over.
It's because number 5 alive.
Of course. And finally, last announcement of the week, December 12th, Kino Lorber is releasing the Quatermass Experiment from 1955. This is one that they had released previously, and this is not a new scan necessarily, but this will be on a 50 gigabyte disc compared to a 25 gigabyte disc. We'll have new encoding, so we'll have a much more room. It won't be compressed. There will be a new audio commentary by Gary Garani. Happy birthday again. Still has all of the archival features, including the on-camera interview with John Carpenter discussing this. But the biggest thing for me, this has subtitles now, and the first release did not have subtitles. I watch everything with subtitles, so I'm so glad that this is getting a better release.
Yeah, that's really cool. I don't think I've seen this.
Wow.
No, I need to watch it.
Interesting.
I don't like this couch. I need a new place to broadcast from.
Well, last thing we got to do. What's coming out next week? We got A Bronx Tale on 4K, Rosemary's Baby 4K, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs 4K, Pumpkinhead 4K, Videodrome 4K,
Wow.
Transformers Rise of the Beast 4K. I know that's Will's favorite. Megan is getting a 4K release. The Wallace and Gromit, the complete collection, the complete cracking collection coming from Shout. The Boogeyman getting a physical release. Hard Boiled 2 from 88 Films. I think that's supposed to be coming next week. Not sure if it got delayed again. Friday the 13th 4K is getting a steelbook release. The Contempt release from Godard is coming out next week. 4K. Pumpkinhead Steelbook, Kill Bill Volume 1, Jackie Brown, and Kill Bill Volume 2 are coming out as Blu-ray re-releases. I know there was some speculation that they were going to be 4K. They are only Blu-rays. Yellow Jackets Season 2 comes out next week. The Halloween updated trilogy 4K Steelbook set comes out. Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey Steelbook is coming out as a Walmart exclusive from Shout next week. Jules on Blu-ray. The Crown, the complete first season, is coming out on Blu-ray. Last Island from Cult Epics, Terrifier 2 4K Steelbook, Creepy Crawly from Wellgo, Dick Shark, if that's your thing, Jeepers Creepers Reborn Steelbook. Everybody's going to be clamoring for that. What are you keen on for next week, Will?
Last Island.
The Cult Epics release.
Yeah, I'm interested.
It looks very good, and not a lot of people will talk about Cult Epics. I'm curious to check out Rosemary's Baby on 4K. I need to see it again. It's been a few years, and curious about it.
Yeah, a lot of those upgrades are eventually for me. I'm also interested. I've never actually seen A Bronx Tale. I think I would like to see that.
It's an interesting one. That's a pressed mod 4K release.
Thanks, Stan. It's not the couch per se, as just the setting. I can't get comfortable. Plus, I'm all wiped out. You know, normally I have a little libation that perks me up artificially. And now I'm trying this thing where I confront my problems and deal with them, because Ryan's always like, nag, nag, nag. And so, you know, I'm a little low key tonight. Which is probably a good thing.
Peter Puffer says he's hanging out for the Dick Shark 4K criterion. Sivner says your couch looks like the killer condom.
Oh, gross.
I love that the sound of your dog lapping up these gross mouthfuls of water is coming.
Oh my God, this damn dog.
Will, my friend, we did it, and in less than 3 hours.
I can hardly hear you because of the goddamn dog. I am surprised that we did it so quick. Well, normally I start rambling on every single title, and I'm like, "Hey, I'll tell you this story." So I don't know. That might be a feature that is missed. We'll see. We'll see what the comments say.
I will take some of the blame for this, because I have been putting Will to work lately.
Sure.
There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Sivner says, is there even a discussion? We never have time to plan discussions for the first week of the month because there's always so many announcements. Is there anything off the wall that you want to bring up? Obviously, we can't announce any of our titles. Anything else that you want to talk about from the trip or stuff that we're working on or anything?
Who do you think should be the new Speaker of the House?
Maybe that dog.
I hate this dog so much, man. It's not his fault, but you know, it's just everything he does is so annoying.
It was so loud right then.
It's just lie down, dude. Just lie down. It's the end of the night.
Joe Jack wants to know how we went the whole night without a single Jess Franco reference.
Oh, I did put in my order for Lorna the Exorcist from Kino. Pretty excited about that. And can't wait for Sinner, the story of a nymphomaniac, to come out as well. I heard some rumors there might be some more Jess Franco announcements at some point in the not too distant future. So pretty exciting overall. Um, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk? What are we allowed to say?
Not much.
Yeah, we're
Um,
working on some stuff. It's been really interesting working together. Um, I think that it'll get better and better. But it's weird. Yeah, it's really good kind of chemistry so far. Um, I think that it's been not easy. The work is hard, but it's been easy to kind of communicate and be productive. So it's just I'm still kind of amazed the way it all worked out that we got into each other's orbit.
I agree. Ronnie is asking if I've heard anything about a Bottoms Blu-ray release. I believe that it's been confirmed that there will be a Blu-ray release. I would imagine with how popular it's been, I don't think that A24 is going to let it go without putting it out on Blu-ray. So
For sure.
it's been a huge movie for them. Sibner is saying, what titles do we think might come out from IFC on Black Friday? I thought IFC was confirmed to be coming in December, not on Black Friday. I thought it was IFC and was it called Art Label? Was the other one I think is supposed to be debuting in December? I don't think it's Black Friday, unless something changed and I'm wrong, which has happened. Michael Smith says, "How is that Franco documentary?" Which Franco documentary? Is there a Franco documentary? I know there's a lot of featurettes. I don't know of a documentary.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Craig says we've got 3 more announcements coming in a week or two.
That's great.
That's not the first of the month. How is that working?
It's the first of the month.
Interesting.
Well, wait, in a week or two, it'll be first of the month again.
No, it'll be the middle
3
of the
weeks.
month. In 4 weeks.
4 weeks? How many weeks in October?
4.5.
Oh. Well, I'm going to celebrate my 11th wedding anniversary on Friday the 13th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Gonna watch some horror movies and porn?
Time just passes. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we're going to go see Suzanne Vega on the 12th. She's coming through North Carolina. We like Suzanne Vega. Acquisition announcements. Cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, we're gonna go to the concert, and then on the actual Friday the 13th, yeah, I'm sure we'll watch some horror movies. TBA.
That dog just wants to be a nuisance.
He's humping his blanket right now.
Friday the 13th. Anything that you always do on Friday the 13th that you're gonna do again, other than spending time with your wife for your anniversary?
Yeah. We try to watch horror movies every time there's a Friday the 13th. So we'll select some and make it happen.
Da Vinci is asking, do we think From Dusk Till Dawn might be the Paramount mystery title in that box set? Man, this has been a plaguing question for the last week or so. There's so many people that are focusing on it, and I guess the running rumor was that it was going to be this new Pet Sematary Bloodlines sequel that they're putting out, and it was going to be a 4K release on disc. I hope it's not that. I don't know.
I like From Dusk Till Dawn.
Well, and there is a big clue is that From Dusk Till Dawn was announced as coming on 4K about 1.5 or 2 years ago, and then it got quietly canceled. So maybe they got their stuff together, and now it's coming out.
That's the only movie by Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez that I unreservedly like. I know it's weird. Well, I think part of it is because because this is back in the pre-internet days. I went to see that. I was in high school when it came out, and I went on a date to see it with my girlfriend at the time, my high school girlfriend, and we had no idea it was a vampire movie. Like, no idea. That wasn't in the commercials we had seen. And with no internet, you know, you just go into the movie, and we thought it was, this
Right.
crime thriller, and then all of a sudden these vampires, we were just like, oh yeah. You can't surprise people like that anymore, I guess.
It's a fun movie. I mean, we just recently watched it in the Discord, and it holds up. It's great. I still really enjoy that movie, and it's so odd because it's like two full movies in one, and it pulls it off very well.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're asking questions. Any other questions for Will and I? I was trying to think of like what things we could share, and I think one thing that we could share is the number of things that we've done.
Oh gosh, yeah. Wait, can we say what they are, or
No,
just the?
no,
Okay.
just the number of projects. I think we're up to like 8 or 9 at this point.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Because right now there's 4 open projects in the next 2 weeks, and then there was 4 last month. There's a lot coming.
Yeah. I think people are going to be pretty happy. For us, no, I'm just kidding. Happy, happy at the stuff that they'll get to check out.
And a wide range of titles too.
Yeah.
Michael Smith wants to know what's a movie we really wanted to like but didn't. I know for me, I just brought it up. A big one for me is I've never loved Rosemary's Baby. I'm gonna try to rewatch it with 2023 eyes and go back and see, if it's improved for me, because I feel like I just wasn't ready for it when I watched it. But yeah,
I want to like every movie that I watch. Like
same.
I've wanted to like every Tarantino movie. I've wanted to like every Spielberg movie. I wanted to like Noah Baumbach. You know what? I really wanted to like Wes Anderson, and I try every movie that comes out. I try to like him. I just don't. And like other people can, and it does not in any way. Like I do not look down on anybody who likes Wes Anderson. I'm kind of I can't figure out why. Well, actually, I do know why, but I feel like I should be able to get over it. Is there any Woody Allen film you like? Zelig and Crimes and Misdemeanors. Fight Club. I wanted to like Fight Club, and I really don't. So that's a good one.
Michael Smith is surprised you don't like Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown is without question the best Tarantino movie. I'll say that.
Men Who Stare at Goats felt so pointless.
Oh, that's a great example, Carrie. Yeah, I went to see that in the theater with some friends and came out very underwhelmed.
Stan commented, I think it's great that I'll have the next couple of weeks to dedicate exclusively to my passion. Thanks, Stan. A lot of people hating Fight Club. Ragnar says, Men Behind the Sun 1, 2, 3.
What's that?
Oh, it's that Massacre video trilogy they're putting out. It's the super, like the Cat 3 craziness. I just remembered something that I was going to share. Let me pull up another tab to share. So I am going to share the Physical Media Advocate because the 4th edition that just came out in the middle of September, there was a contest linked in here. Here it is. And We said to celebrate the announcement of someone's favorite productions, the Advocate is hosting their first contest. Everyone that submits an entry will, with all of the correct answers to the following movie emoji puzzles, by yesterday, will be entered into a random drawing that occurs during Reconnected tonight. And enter all of the answers in an email and send it to me. And in the last 3 weeks, I've received 2 emails. 2 emails entering into a contest. Technically, they both missed at least one title, but I am going to give it to one of them because somebody deserves to win. So, Matt, you are the closest. I'm going to give the answers now. Well, let's see if Will can figure some of these out. Let me zoom in a little more and see.
How does it work?
Just what movie is depicted by this emoji right here? There's a wedding ring and a TV.
The Ring.
The Ring.
Ring.
Number
Ring.
2.
I don't know.
It's a man, a pair of scissors, and hands. What if the man's name was Edward?
Oh. Oh, I get it now.
Oh, that's funny. This third one, this is the one that has thrown the most people. We have a knife, we have a woman, and we have a son. Any guesses?
Rosemary's Baby?
No.
Oh.
The son is literally the son.
Oh, it is the son. The astronaut's wife.
No. This is one that somebody guessed. Day of the Woman. It is not Day of the Woman, but this is actually
Nice.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. Number 4. This one should be very obvious.
Oh, that's The Exorcist.
The Exorcist. Number 5 should also be obvious.
That Darn Cat.
Egg Cat Spaceship.
Event Horizon. Captain Marvel.
An egg.
Oh, Alien. I'm so
the
bad.
Opening scene is an egg.
I'm terrible at this kind of stuff.
Number 6, twins, an axe, and a freezing face. You are terrible at this. Wow. That one is
the shine.
There we go. There we go. Number 7, a dog, a snowflake, and blood. William F. Dodson.
I don't know. I don't even like movies.
The Thing.
Oh, right. You know what? I can do crossword puzzles all day long, like the hard ones, like New York Times Sunday. But this pictorial stuff I can never get.
Well, let's see if you can get the last one. This one's pretty easy. Twins, a pair of scissors, and a bunny. I said it was going to be easy. I don't think you're going to get it because it's a modern film.
Yeah. Wait, Showgirls?
Oh my gosh, no. Oh,
Bound.
not at all. No, this is Us.
Oh.
Jordan Peele's Us.
Oh, yeah.
So
I like that.
I will reach back out to Matt, and Matt is going to get a lovely package from me. But I guess this is the perfect time to say, hey, if you want access to some of these contests and all, I mean, this is the first time I've shown a full issue of The Advocate in one of these streams.
Gosh,
I'll go semi-slow.
Awesome,
go ahead, what?
That's awesome. Look at that thing. Jesus.
We've got a full intro to Shinya Tsukamoto from film blogger Sam there. We've got a list of news that was important in the previous month. We've got the contest, more of the Shinya Tsukamoto. We've got a spotlight on Yellow Veil Pictures and Dustin's book that Dustin was in the chat earlier tonight. Then we have a list of all the important release dates coming over the next month. And then all of the upcoming sales I decided to highlight for everybody just so you could have a list of what should be coming up and the dates. Some more list of release dates and the Shina Tsukamoto. And then we've got a wish list of films that Erica wants on Blu-ray, Erica Schultz from Unsung Horrors. And she goes into so much detail that she lists which label should put it out and the special features they should get. Loved that feature. Then we had a review of The Watermelon Woman from Ken A, who I believe Ken was in the chat earlier.
Nice.
Maybe not. Yeah, this is a great article. And then we talked about everything that happened on the channel last month. And Arrow Alley is going to be a monthly segment from Chris over at They Live by Film. First off, this is commissioned artwork from Elizabeth Yu, who has done a lot of incredible artwork for boutique physical media releases. She painted that. And now it is home in the Physical Media Advocate every single month.
Wow. This
and
is amazing.
He is going through the first 100 Arrow home video releases in the U.S. We're going to be talking about those every month. And that is pretty much it. That was September. That's just for 1 month. And you can get this every single month. You can get this as part of the Patreon in the link in the description below, or you can buy this on Amazon. Go on there, search up Disconnected on Amazon or my name, Ryan Verrill, and it'll come up. It's great. I want physical copies too, Anthony. It's expensive as hell. Yes, Michael, it is a PDF, and all of the links in here are all of like the titles, all of the pictures you click, and it will take you to where it's linked. It's a pretty damn good document, in my opinion. It's really fun.
You need to get some interns, man.
Yes, doing that once a month is hard.
Do you do all those hyperlinks yourself?
All myself.
Holy cow.
Check it out. Yeah, you can get it on Amazon or get it through the Patreon. And if you get it through the Patreon, you get access to all of them that have come out. So if you sign up at the $12 level, you get the last 4 months of it right now. Will there be a Shocktober sale? For who? For Arrow, yes. Launches tomorrow morning. For Scream Factory, yes. Launches in the next few days.
Oh my god.
Mondo Macabro Flash pre-order for their Halloween sale is coming up soon. Then they will have their Halloween sale. There will be a Criterion Flash sale probably next week. There will be a Indicator Flash sale sometime in the next 30 to 40 days. There is so much coming up. We're in the middle of a Kino Lorber sale, and guess what? In about a month, they're going to have another sale. They've already announced it.
God damn it.
There is unwavering amounts of sales right now, so check them out. Yes, there is an Arrow sale happening tomorrow, Wave.
I get my Robin Hood. Oh, and Waterworld.
Ah, that's a great Costner film. Opens up with him drinking his own piss. Hell yeah. Oh, thanks for that, Paul. I hope you enjoyed them. Cinder says, pour yourself a scotch and relax on your killer condom couch.
No, that's the problem. I have no drink whatsoever.
Barry says, I need to rob a bank. No buying until Dead Sea Life is trying to get a new job. So is Will.
Yeah. I'm still employed at the moment, but I don't know. Maybe things will work out. There's this documentary that Tom Hansel made. He teaches now at Appalachian State, but at the time he worked as a documentarian at the Appalachian Film Workshop in Kentucky called Apple Shop. And he made this movie called Coal Bucket Outlaw. It's about it's about the energy, the economics and culture of energy production, and it follows these guys who drive coal this guy and his wife, they own their own truck, and they're small business operators, and they're kind of going through, the financial trap that they're in, is because basically the only way you can make enough money to survive is by running with an overload, which of course is illegal. And if you get caught, there's problems, and it can also cause your truck to break down. Anyway, point I'm getting to is the guy's wife who does all their accounting and kind of runs the business, is kind of going through the hardship, and she like gets choked up for a minute, starts to cry. But then she kind of gathers herself and she says, well, we ain't never not made it yet. And that was one of the most inspiring things I've ever heard anybody say. So I'm never going to forget it. We ain't never not made it yet. And so until we don't make it, we remember that so far we have.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Cold Bucket Outlaw. If you get a chance, it's about 45 minutes long. Good movie.
Not too bad. Somebody's asking for the date on the Mondo Macabro Flash pre-order. That was Ragnar. I'm trying to find it. I don't think Mondo has said it publicly yet, but I believe they said it was going to be at least 2 weeks before the actual Halloween sale. So I would imagine it would probably be late next week or the week after. It's going to have to be.
Pretty soon. How long? Not long. Because the more you reap, the more you sow.
Any word on Trick or Treat, Witchfinder General, or the Boogans 4K? I know we don't have release dates on the Boogans or Trick or Treat. Witchfinder General, I don't think there was a 4K announced for that. Or maybe was there in Europe? Maybe? Let me see. Oh, that's right. 88 Films announced it. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, no release date on the Witchfinder General 4K yet. They've not announced anything. And knowing 88, they probably will not announce their next wave of stuff until December-ish. 88 needs to get their stuff together with how they announce. It seems like every 6 months they just say, oh, by the way, we forgot to tell you guys we're still making stuff. And then they release like 40 release dates. And then they delay them for the next 6 months. I love what you do, 88 Films, but come on. The delays suck. Any other anecdotes or questions or anything anybody wants to know before we go?
I feel like there were some questions at the beginning, but we started going so fast I didn't get a chance to look at them. But
I can scroll back. God, this is a lot of comments. Let's see. Questions from Josephine DeMarco. Will, what is your favorite Lovecraft or Edgar Allan Poe stories? Or let's say adaptations. Film adaptations.
Oh, film adaptations?
Yeah, let's do that.
Story-wise, I'm actually more into people like Abraham Merritt, who wrote Burn Witch Burn, that later got adapted into Todd Browning's The Devil Doll. Lovecraft, like the regular stuff, Dunwich Horror, and adaptations. Obviously, all the Stuart Gordon stuff is number one. Actually, I'm one of those people that really does like Dagon.
I was going to bring that one up if you didn't. It's a surprisingly good movie.
Yeah, I like it. I thought that one was great.
Very wet movie.
Very wet and spooky.
I also really enjoyed Color Out of Space from Richard Stanley.
Yeah, I liked the Curse, the one with Will Wheaton.
Oh,
that's a version of The Color from Outer Space too.
I don't know that I've seen it. I may not have seen it. It's been a long time.
I believe Scream Factory put that out along with Curse 2, The Bite, with Keith David.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Poe, I like pretty much everything of Poe. I mean, the usual suspects, Telltale Heart, The Raven, all that, are very entertaining. I can't think of any like direct adaptations of Poe that I am super into. Jules Dawson did an interesting short film of the Telltale Heart that was pretty cool. I liked that a lot. Stuart Gordon's Black Cat for Masters of Horror is cool. Two Evil Eyes, the Argento Romero, that's really good.
Antonio's commenting that pretty much all of the Arrow titles are on sale on iTunes right now for $3.99. Yes, the show is about physical media, but we're also about saving money. And if you can get access to a whole bunch of films for cheap, it's a good way to do it. And they look really good on iTunes too.
It's all about the love of cinema.
And Arrow does this 2 or 3 times a year with iTunes, so it's a really good time to stock up. Sivner wants to know, what other goodies do you think we're getting from Vinegar Syndrome on Black Friday? Most likely 2 catalog slips, as always. They're getting pretty light on the titles that are missing slips that are not adult titles, though. So I'm very curious how that's going to work eventually. Ooh, love me some Castle Freak.
Yeah. Stuart Gordon's output for Empire / Full Moon Video are some of the best films of their whole catalog. The Pit and the Pendulum.
Yep.
Stuart Gordon's The Pit and the Pendulum with Jeffrey Combs and Oliver Reed and Lance Henriksen. That's great.
Speaking of Stuart Gordon, are you going to get the Stuart Gordon memoir from FAB Press?
Yeah.
It looks incredible. I really want to get the big one that they're doing with all the special, if you buy it direct from them, but oh man, is it expensive.
I think I'm actually my friend and writing partner, Chris, I believe he's getting it for me as a gift. I should probably get him something.
Sivner says, do we get any announcements on November 1st, or is that all delayed until Black Friday? You get partner label announcements, just no Vinegar Syndrome announcements on November 1st. But at the same time, they might release Melusine titles too.
That'll give us plenty to talk about them.
And get banned from Twitch. Yeah.
What is Twitch? That's for like gamers, right?
It's just it's a live streaming platform.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Even though I'm not the biggest Jess Franco fan, I would love to get as many of his stuff on 4K as I can.
Hell yeah. I want a giant
the world.
I want a giant box set of all his digital video movies.
Michael Smith says, assuming you know who Kevin Brownlow is, have you ever met him?
I gotta Google who that
is. It's a big assumption, I guess. Anthony, this is hilarious.
What did Anthony say?
Anthony says, it looks like the channel could use a collection background during the live stream. Would you like a photo of my shelves? Somebody found out that another YouTube channel, not going to name right now, went on Blu-ray.com and took somebody's picture of their collection and is using it as the background of their YouTube streams. It's so weird to do that.
That's cool. Oh, okay. Kevin Brownlow's. No, I don't know Kevin Brownlow. He's big time. He's way too big for me. British film historian who focuses on silent film. I do usually back Redwood Films Kickstarters. So that's my contribution to silent film.
Melusine will probably have stuff on sale on Black Friday, yes. Brownlow is the foremost silent film historian.
Yeah.
Does the Beyond have a 4K? It is coming on 4K from Grindhouse releasing eventually.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on 1999's American Movie?
Oh yeah. Oh man, love Mark Borchardt. When that came out, you would order the VHS of American Movie from Mark Borchardt, and it included, a signed poster that he and Mike signed, and it had Mike's phone number that you could just call him up. And I did. I was like 20 years old at the time, and I talked to him for a little bit. He will, what a great loss. But Mark, I recommend following Mark Borchardt on Twitter. He posts uh, the just cool stuff. I love American Movie. Some people kind of see it as exploitive and making fun of the characters, but I see it more as, just like a really human story with some great characters. Yeah, I revisit that one fairly regularly. And I've got my VHS copy of Coven, which is a pretty good movie.
I love American Movie. Really
Yeah.
glad that got a blue finally.
Yeah.
Sibner says, any word on Possession 4K from Second Sight? Just that it's coming. I would not be surprised if that actually isn't coming until early next year at this point. Stan says Mark is still selling VHS copies of Coven. Spoken to him on the phone too. He's a character, charming fellow.
Still selling them.
Mark never mentioned Mike's death on Instagram. Interesting. Ultimate 4K wish list is Simon Birch. That's a good one.
He made a tweet about it. Mark made a tweet about Mike. I remember that. I don't know about Instagram though.
So I normally stream this on Facebook as well, but for some reason the connection failed tonight, so it's not streaming there. But Chris Silvestri, who owns Legends, we've talked about the store before. He messaged on Facebook just now to say that it's not working. Oh, there it is. And he wanted to say he loves you, Will.
Oh, yeah.
He always says you're the best guest to have on here.
Oh, I wouldn't say that by any stretch, especially not tonight. But thanks. That's really cool.
Let's see. So when Second Sight announced Possession 4K, it was August 8th, and they say a special edition of this classic is in the works, featuring our own restoration, supervised by the camera operator, all that, Daniel Bird, new exclusive bonus content, and more. Their announcement doesn't have anything about this year, unless they said something else about it. Not sure.
It's a mystery.
Will and Celeste are tied. Oh, that Universal Monster set is delayed. Interesting. Oh, good gosh, Sibner, don't put that evil on us. Imagine the Hitcher and Possession both getting announced at the same time. Ronnie says, any chance Criterion will start releasing Hal Hartley's films after adding his movies to the channel? I gotta be honest, probably not, considering he's now running a Kickstarter for a new film, and he is going to release it himself to match all of his old physical media that he put out by himself.
Yeah, he owns all his own stuff, right?
Yes.
Well, you can get his stuff and sets from his website for pretty good prices.
Most of it, but some of it has not been available for a while.
That's true.
Peter Puffer, yes, you missed the JFK 4K mention. We covered that a good 97 minutes ago or so. Comments on the Abyss 4K. Basically, I believe the comment was it's coming soon. He's saying hopefully in the next couple months, and he's just waiting on the studio. He's done everything he needs to. I'm excited for it. I hope it comes out. But also, he's been saying he's done, and it's a couple months away for years, it feels like.
Filmed right here in Shelby, North Carolina, home of Earl Owensby Studios. The Abyss.
Have you heard more about that Soderbergh box set he's planning to put out? Apparently might be limited to a couple thousand copies. I did not. Huh. They're pretty expensive. That's probably about Hal Hartley. Some of them, yeah, I could see that. Let's see. Everything except for No Such Thing. The studio said they will not relinquish the rights back to him on that one. Have a good night, dude. Thanks again for the Bronson. It's probably about time for us to call it anyways.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it or anything, but that yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus has a pretty tragic ending. Santa Claus
Does
comes
Bronson die?
No, well, Santa Claus comes down to the chimney and Bronson blows him away. Stand your ground. It's a home invasion situation.
Oh man. Wow.
But I bring joy to the children, and Bronson's like, no dice.
Oh man. Paul says, finally watched Death Wish 4K, now to make my way through the sequels. Not as sad as the story from Gremlins.
True. It's my favorite Christmas story. Phoebe Cates telling that. That's why I don't celebrate Christmas. Oh my God. You know what? Last time I went on an extended rant about John Landis, and I said that that fuck him, fuck his whole family, and fuck everybody who's friends with him. And I stand by that, but I make an exception for Joe Dante. He can be friends with whoever he wants.
Tony says he saw Exorcist Believer and says no comment.
I really wish that they had licensed the song by the Monkees, I'm a Believer, and then like gotten Marilyn Manson to do a cover of it for the new Exorcist. I think that would have been something. I did once work in Kentucky for Apple Shop, the documentary film organization, among some other places. I worked several places in Kentucky.
I was going to say, isn't that the venue you worked at was there too?
Yeah, that was something I did on the side, kind of volunteering. I definitely lost money on that venture, but had a great time and met a lot of great bands and stuff. But the bourbon, I wasn't as sophisticated then as I am now. I probably, but what I did sample, I enjoyed way too much of. I had lots of interesting local strains of moonshine and all kinds of stuff. Back in the day, I lived so where I lived at the time was a dry county, so they did not serve alcohol in the county, and I was right next to the Virginia state line. So you'd have to go over the state line to a place called Pound, Virginia, if you wanted to purchase alcohol. But here's the kicker: in Pound, Virginia, and as far as I know, it's still the case today. It might not be, but certainly was at the time. This is the early 2000s. Illegal to dance in public. And that was a referendum passed by voters of the town. And so they had this bar called you could drink in Pound, but you couldn't dance. So it's like you could dance in Kentucky, but you had to come to Virginia to get the alcohol. But anyway, they had this bar in Pound, Virginia called the Golden Pines. And there was a what they called a congregation floor. And they had a DJ there called the Chicken Man. And he would play music, and people would go out on the congregation floor and they'd dance. And every now and again, the cops would come and round everybody up for disturbing the peace and everything. And I went to the Golden Pines for my 22nd or 23rd birthday. And the Chicken Man played Footloose for me. And I did the little Kevin Bacon dance. Did not get arrested, which at the time I was like, I wish I could have gotten arrested, but now I'm glad because that's not something you'd want to have to explain to an employer.
Right.
I was arrested for dancing in Pound, Virginia.
You asked why I was arrested. Well, let me ask you, have you seen Footloose?
Yeah. I'm just like Kevin Bacon, officer.
Some comments on modern films. Carrie Mulligan, it's a wild thing to think that Saw X is one of the best reviewed horror films of the year, but it absolutely deserves it. Completely agree.
Huh.
Trailers aren't art. They can make a turd look like a Snickers, just like copywriting can make any title sound like you want it. Stan says creator got a little silly. Sibner says creator was good, but felt like it was a lot packed into one movie. I need to see creator. Looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see this Exorcist film that's dividing everybody.
Yeah, I tell you, man, I've got an embarrassment of riches coming up between the Alamo Draft House and the Carolina Theater of Durham. They're showing so many films this month, classic films. I don't know that I'm going to have time to see anything new. Clockwork Orange is tomorrow. Opera is Saturday. A double feature of Frankenstein and the Invisible Man is Sunday. That's just this weekend. So I'm going to try to go to a ton of movies this month. I don't know. Maybe we can get The Exorcist in there, but I might have to wait.
We'll see. You got some other movies to watch too still.
Yeah, I sure do. Well, I've now
I know that you watched this one, yes.
I've seen them.
We're going to watch it together though.
Yeah, we'll do a watch through.
Twice.
I'll tell you, speaking of Dagon, I think there's some real connections there. Stan's going to Todd. What are they playing? A Todd Browning double feature. Is it going to be like Freaks in the Unknown or something? Or so stoked that The Devil Doll is getting released by Warner Archive. Just as a plug, I wrote an essay on The Devil Doll for Gary Rhodes' book, Scripts from the Crypt, on Todd Browning's Revolt of the Zombies.
Which is, I believe, linked in the description below, if I remember right.
Great. You know what? I forgot entirely to promote the 2 Wes Craven books that I'm in.
One of them is linked in the description below.
Oh, just one. I need to get the other one in there. We'll talk about that next month. 2 Wes Craven's books in 1 year. That's awesome.
It is.
A lot of great writers in it too. Yeah, I don't know. There's and Killers from the Flower Moon. I was wanting to maybe go see that next week.
Wow, jeez. They're playing The Unknown and Dollar Down.
Whoa, I've never seen Dollar Down. Oh, has that been released on anything? I don't think so. That's. Oh man. Oh, Stan. Good on you, buddy.
No high def release, at least.
I freaking love Todd Browning so much. You know who else loved Todd Browning? Anna Mae Wong. He had a long-standing affair with her, which I wonder. I haven't gotten that Kino set of her work yet. I wonder if her relationship with Todd Browning is mentioned in any of the commentaries. I know Sam Deegan does a commentary on one of them. Yeah, I'll have to check into those as well.
Well, it's probably about time. We're about to hit our 3.5 hour mark. Will has to get some sleep. He's clearly ready. Thanks everybody for hanging out tonight.
This is the shortest one we've ever done, I think.
Probably. Next week, Bob's Blu-rays is coming back on the channel. We're going to have a lengthy horror discussion after our announcements. It's going to be a fun week next week, and some interesting stuff coming up on the channel that I can't say too much about yet. Other than that, we look forward to sharing some news with you soon. Will, thanks for doing this every month.
Oh, man, always happy to. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around.
And we shall see you. Well, Will and I will both see you a month from now, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye-bye.